Our first LAN event as DarkZero is really awesome, I think. I mean, obviously me and Mint and Brandon have been to LANs before, but I think coming together as a team, especially with my cousins, really awesome. I think, you know, we just want to make a big show.
I think our greatest strengths are preparation. I think we put a lot of time into strategy, innovation, and I think we have the ability to just adapt on the fly. If we see a team's weak against a certain meta op, you know, we won't be afraid to bring it and expose their weaknesses.
Our second seed out of NA, our first time seeing them on a final stage, DarkZero Esports! Ready to flex, we're ready to rock, headed to the top, we got next, can't settle for less, I'ma need your best, so give it all you got. DarkZero! So that's the first time they've ever come onto our LAN final stages. But now let's meet a team who've been on one before, and it was the biggest we've had.
We didn't change anything to prepare for the Season 9 finals in Milan. So we just changed the player, and we wanted to teach him how to play as a team, because he had no experience before.
Yeah, we are performing good at Season 9 because we are at the start of the season beat like everyone, and then in the second half we lose our games, and yeah, I think we perform good.
The Russians and the runners-up in the World Championships, ladies and gentlemen, Team Empire! Are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to rumble? Get ready, get ready, get ready. Hey, hey. Are you ready to rumble? Team Empire! Are you ready to rumble? Get ready, get ready, get ready. DarkZero Esports and Team Empire for the next spot in the semi-finals. Let's go back with Devmada, Zoronic, and Milos and delve into our next quarterfinal.
Thank you very much, Matt. Man, DarkZero versus Team Empire, second seed of North America versus number 1 of EU, the runners-up of Invitational 2019, and a great match. One will go down in the history books between G2 Empire, the grand final, and here we are. European crowd for Empire is definitely going to be a bit of help, but let's talk about a few of the weaknesses of the Russians before we talk about DarkZero. Dan, newcomer to the team, how much of an effect is that going to have?
Well, I mean, we know he's capable of performing, right? Like, he has been, and not to take this term the wrong way, an amazing ranked hero. So was Kanto.
That's very true.
Some of the best players we've seen come in have been these people that
Uno as well,
everywhere.
if you look at it. There's so many players like that.
He's got big shoes to fill, without a doubt, but at least he's going into a team that is so structured that you can pinpoint to the second where he has to be and what he has to do. So that's going to help him a lot going into it. Going up against DarkZero, this might be the first time that they have to deal with a team that tries to execute in this manner, though.
Let's talk about technicalities with you, though, James. DarkZero, of course, they're highly known as one of the most strat-heavy teams in North America, and not just the olden days of 6-4, and I know we always have to say that because he invented strats. That's how it goes. But more specifically is that they can adapt on the fly, and as they said in the interview, they're not afraid to use things that teams really don't know how to deal with.
I think there's something really special about DarkZero. Every team prepares, but I think DarkZero prepare in a very, very particular way. The depth of their strategy and the breadth, I think, the number of pocket strategies, one might say, that they actually have for every single map, every single site, you know, they've said that in the interview, and also innovation is a key component of that. And when that comes to, you know, implementing these innovations on the fly, that's really where we kind of get the Bear Grylls style, you know, improvise, adapt, overcome.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about here with DarkZero. That's what we know them as.
That is a perfect way to describe DarkZero. We can take a look at their roster here just to see how things shape up if you haven't really been keeping up with Pro League for the past bit. Of course, number 2 team in North America is Jarvis, BC, Mint, Han, Cold, and Nyx. We've got Cousins here as well. But Jarvis coming in, he's been around for a long, long time when it comes to competitive play. BC used to be on Evil Geniuses, moved to DarkZero as a coach, now on the main roster after Pojo Man left to become a coach for EXG. And they have a decent bit of LAN experience, but it's either DreamHack Montreal from last year or way back when in year 1 and 2.
And I know with BC, it was a very hard choice for them to choose if he should be the coach or the player because he's very, very good at coaching, but he's also a very damn good player.
Yes, there's a reason why.
Some people would call him the king of nades.
I don't think there's anyone else in the world that's quite like BC.
No.
No, and that's why we're hyping him up so much, because BC is definitely one of the most excellently talented players that has ever graced the NA scene. Though, on the other end, it's Team Empire. So, Zdravstvuyte, tovarishi, what's up? How is everybody doing here? It's the Russian team. It's Joystick, Dan, Karjeka, Shepard, and Scyther. So Dan, of course, the new player on the squad, but it remains 4 Russians and an Estonian Karjeka in the middle. We've seen that Joystick Karjeka combo so many times. Joystick is always the spearhead, but his IGL is right, well, not always IGL, but he always has Karjeka right behind him, ghosting him pretty much, just being ready to take a refrag, to give him information, to play off of him. That's a lot of teamwork you have to face against if you're DarkZero.
I would just be extra terrified of Joystick right now because he might want to come after that record that Virtue just set.
That's actually very true.
That's a fair point. I think one of the particular things with Empire, as you mentioned, Joystick and Karjeka are, particularly the pinnacles of this, but they want to take fights. When they're roaming, Joystick and Jaeger, name a more iconic duo, they will find somewhere on the map that they will sit, or an area on the map where they will, do a nice, small, narrow roam, and they want you to come find them because they are confident in their gunfights. Karjeka does the same thing, whether he's playing Ela. We've seen him doing all kinds of different roles and operators. We've seen him flex around, but Joystick is that constant, and we often do see these two guys moving around together in that way.
You're focusing on the defensive side. I want to take a look at the attack, because remember at Invitational, you and I were sitting next to one another and actually timing every single time they start an attack. For example, we took Consulate every single time Empire go for an admin take. You look at online, offline, no matter what it is. At, 50 seconds into the round, Joystick had just cleared copy room and is now heading down. Now, that was usually with Ashe, but we've had the Ashe change, so no more ACOG on the R4C. Unfortunately, for some people, don't really mind it, so thank you, Bikini. But G36 has become a thing for a lot of players, including Rampy, who's also this huge player on Ashe and NA. Nyx as well. And on top of that, we've seen Joystick also head off the Ashe a lot of times to play the Jackal, and that's a pretty interesting pick.
Yeah, so Jackal adds a little bit of self-destruction, more than you had with Ashe.
Yep.
You're going to struggle a bit more with your Maestro cameras, but Twitch...
Barricades, stuff like that, yeah, sure, but
Twitch makes up for the Ashe charges, to be honest, with Maestro cams, for example, right? And you got your 2 extra smokes that you don't have. Plus, it helps with roam clearing a lot. From a map like Bank, for example, you're almost always better off running Jackal there instead of Ashe for that particular job.
Yeah, we've seen Joystick play the IQ as well a little bit. You kind of have your trade-offs. When you've decided that you don't, I think it's safe to say that Joystick's not a fan of the G36C, and he does like the ACOG, so he's kind of, Ashe is no longer his thing. He's not comfortable with the current loadout availabilities, so the other operators he can flex onto, like you said, there's always a sacrifice, but there's always a little bit of extra sweet cakes on the side that you get along with that operator pick.
Yeah, it's just a decision. Do we want him to be on the Jackal supportive role or more of a fragging role? A lot of times he'll play that fragging role and then switch over to more of a support with those smokes end of the round, and also hold off rotations, for example, of whatever defenders that are left. If he plays the IQ, he's more in a supportive role. He's hunting all the equipment first, and then he goes for something different for frags once his utility had been pretty much expended, or using the breaching charges for a pretty darn good bit of show. But that's on Empire's side. If you look at DarkZero, anything that they have to bring to beat that sort of consistent play from Empire?
Mint.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're talking operators. We're talking about players who like specific operators, and we haven't addressed that giant charging elephant in the room, which is Blitz.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not just Blitz, it's Mint on Blitz.
Yes.
He is absolutely terrifying. A good example is and an execute they've been running in Oregon a few times, where they smoke off the hallways and just storm Mint in through the hallway. There is no safe space for you to play in. If Capitao is on board, or any kind of, if they bring Ying, whatever, you're going to get pushed out of these corners, and all of a sudden, the entire side is for the attackers.
Yeah, and here's our map, Vito. Bank will be picked up by DarkZero. Oregon is map number 2 for Empire. Consulate banned out, leaves us with Border and Clubhouse. And lastly, which one will be the decider? Both teams would be pretty excellent on both of these, actually. Border, there we go. Clubhouse removed, and Border will be the decider of them.
So this is fairly interesting if you look at Bank, for example, because we know exactly what that setup is going to be from Empire. They're going to have Sophia in the main lobby every single time. They're going to take possibly control of Banana or Spiral Staircase, whatever you want to call it. They're going to have 1 or 2 guys repelling, and then they're going to maybe push 1 guy in through Garage. Unless they changed, I mean, if they really feel funky, they might have changed 1 spot.
Yeah, maybe like move the Zofia and meet her back.
Yeah, exactly.
1 meter, that's called variety.
I mean, that's
when
the
it comes
thing.
to Team Empire strategies.
Yeah, I mean, this is, we described it, I think, pretty decently at Invitational. Empire basically old Vitality if they were just faster and harder on their executions. There's nothing really that comes out that is just innovative, amazingly innovative, that just changes the game, flips it on its head. But Empire execute perfectly every single time. On the other hand, you look at DarkZero, they're the complete flip side of it. And I'm not making a joke here because that's where they used to play on, but they are the complete flip side of Empire. They play extremely flexibly. They have strategies. They dig so deep into their opponents. And it's all because of the help of having the coaching team, having BC on the squad as well alongside Bacon. This is a team that really uses every asset that they have. And it's a clear contrast between the playstyles of the 2 teams.
Yeah, and in the context of these maps, you know, I'm just going to quickly make a note about the first map ban that DarkZero decided to come out with. It was the 22-round map that we saw in the Grand Final of the Invitational, Coastline. Obviously, if Empire can take that many rounds to G2, then it's probably best to ban it out. But the first map that we will see that DarkZero decided to pick, Bank, the one we've been talking about so much, we do have some stats here. It's been a largely banned map by Empire, and when they actually have played it, I mean, not just on these stats, but actually at the Invitational itself, it was where they lost the World Finals. They lost 7-1 on map number 3 against G2.
In all fairness, that happened after playing the Coastline game.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
fair
the
enough.
thing. It was mostly exhaustion at that point, but I do agree, 7-1 is a pretty darn big deal.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that shifts up. Again, Bank is map number 1, and we'll see how that goes. But for that, we have our storytellers, gentlemen. We just dig through the nitty-gritty. That's the thing. We're the guys that do the dirty jobs, right? No, that's not how it is.
Where were you going with
used
that,
to.
Milos?
But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick it to the casters. Flynn, Stokes, bring it home. It's DarkZero versus Team Empire.
Thank you very much, Gassan. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second quarterfinal of the day. DarkZero versus Empire, as Gassan so kindly pointed out. My name is Flynn. I'm joined by Stokes. It's a new show for you. First Pro League final for you, first Pro League final for me. We have one hell of a matchup awaiting all of you fans watching back home. And we had a very interesting map, Vito. We both had very visceral reactions to those map bans after doing some prep last night and today. Empire not looking so hot in that map ban.
I would say they definitely lost a map ban, yes. Oregon is DarkZero's best map statistically. They have a +5 round differential, which isn't too wide, but they're 3-0-1 on it. Their only loss is to Evil Geniuses, which that's a pretty big deal.
And on the flip side, Consulate, the best map for Empire statistically in the last 6 months. 6-0-1. Their only loss on that map in the last 6 months in an official match with Pro League teams available was to Norengo in the first game of the semifinals of the 6th Invitational. Everything else has been a blowout for them on Consulate. They were +19 on the round differential at a 6-0-1 record. It was available to them, and they elected not to pick it. Curious decision there for Team Empire. We both speculated that Consulate would be the first ban coming out from DarkZero. Instead, they elect to go to a Coastline ban. Also understandable, it was their second best map for Team Empire.
Especially with that 22 rounds, as Dev said earlier. I mean, I don't think you want to go toe-to-toe with that, especially after what they did with G2 on that map at SI.
Yeah, so we start off on Bank, which is statistically a decent map for DarkZero. They don't have as many games played, obviously, because we're including Season 9 and the 6th Invitational. So as of recency, there's only 13 games available for DarkZero, and they've played 4 of them on Oregon. So when we get to map 2 as well, that was another curious one that Empire decided to take Oregon as the second map, which is DarkZero's best map. For Bank, it's an 0-1-1 record in the last 6 months for Empire, and as Alex noted, 7-1 loss at the 6th Invitational Grand Finals. It's where they lost the World Championship to G2 on. A 2-0-1 record for DarkZero, though.
I mean, here's the thing, though. We talk about this all the time about Oregon. Very, very, very rigid map. Not a lot of soft destruction. You're not going to do anything that no one has seen before. There's only a couple variables you can really do with, like, upstairs. Okay, we're going to hold big tower, or we're going to get aggressive downstairs. We're going to hold kitchen. But there's not too many variables you can do. It's a frag-heavy map. And if you're going to put somebody in a frag-heavy map, it's got to be Joystick.
Absolutely. Joystick, and I mean, this is going to be our key performer. We want to look at key members of each team, who we want to focus in on, who are going to be the difference makers in this game. Joystick, obviously, for Team Empire. We had a bit of a tougher time trying to decide who would be the icebreaker, who would be the difference maker for DarkZero, because the team is so well-rounded, the team is so balanced, and they work together so beautifully.
Yeah, they do. Joystick especially, third most opening kills inside of EU, behind Kanto and Leon Gids, which actually they're tied with 36. He has 35, but here's the kicker. He has the most opening deaths at 33. So highly aggressive playstyle that sometimes gets him bit in the butt. But we'll see exactly how that's going to play out here on Bank, as we're going to jump into our first match of the day here, ladies and gentlemen, for DarkZero and Empire. Once again, Bank and Jackal. It's going to be our first ban.
Yeah, it's DarkZero taking out the Jackal. Team Empire responding with a Montaigne ban. Not shocking, considering the shield play coming out from DarkZero being some of the most notorious shield play on the side of Mint. However, Pojo Man, the former member of DarkZero before BC stepped back into a player role, made a nice little segment of his digest where everyone would ban Montaigne against DarkZero and they'd still bring out the Blitz. Blitz, a little less of a powerful operator on Bank in comparison to some of the other maps in the Pro League pool, simply because of its wide nature. Very long corridors, but open areas. So much real estate to cover. There's potential for a lot of crossfire and a lot of angles to catch you off guard as a Blitz versus a Montaigne where you have more protection.
Especially with downstairs, Montaigne is great for that execution downstairs onto the server area. Imperative to Blitz, where you can still get shot in the hand, shot in the shoulder, and you really don't want that to happen. Montaigne allows you to keep pressure and not allow anyone to shoot that planter, but not going to have that, at least for this game.
So DarkZero starting out on the defensive side to start off map number 1 on Bank. They will head to lockers in the CCTV room. Used to be the standard, used to be the staple, used to be your primary no matter what for basically every team. That has shifted in the last 6 months or so, where we've seen a transition more towards CEO as a primary, and we've been seeing a lot more staff room and open area as a secondary site to go to, as opposed to the olden days where staff and open area was only really brought by a team like DarkZero.
Pretty traditional setup going here operator-wise for DZ. Lots of information. They're bringing out the Maestro. They're bringing out the Valkyrie. They're going to have Jarvis playing over in Gold Vault with that cardiac sensor, allowing him to see people inside of the server area. Just going to allow them to know if anyone's on the rotate to try and go down main stairs.
You also notice we didn't even talk about the defensive bans because they've become so standard at this point in time. It's a Mira, it's an Echo, no big shock. We're leaving the Maestro available. We talked about during Pro League for the back half of the season the differential between North America, EU, Latin America. Who likes to ban what the most? Well, EU loves to ban Mira, and NA love to ban the Maestro. They're going to allow the Maestro through this time around. It's not really surprising because DarkZero was the abnormality in North America for allowing the Maestro through the most.
Also, they're starting on defense. I mean, you want that all day. It grants you so much control. You can pre-fire literally everything. I mean, 84 bullets. 84 bullets, Flynn. What are you going to do with 84 bullets? 81, excuse me, not 84.
A for effort, bud. Hopefully the math picks up later on. But we're starting downstairs. Bit of a server hold right now. This is pretty prototypical as well. It's Nyx. He's got a carbine on the server stairs, and you've got the Pulse of Jarvis down below providing calls for him on the intel. Waiting to see where the rest of the Empire attack ingresses from. It appears to be a top floor take, which is also pretty standard. Not much of a roam happening. It's Jarvis giving some signal calls all the way up to the top. It looks like that's a breaching charge. It is from Dan, newest member of Team Empire, to look down in towards the top of server stairs, all the way from the square stairs balcony. Joystick, we've noted on Joystick's operators plenty of times before. He used to play the Ash, used to run the R4 ACOG every single round, and ever since the ACOG has been removed from the R4C, he said publicly in an interview that he doesn't like the G36. It just doesn't sit well with him. He's tried it, doesn't really favor him, so he's been swapping around operators. We've seen him on the IQ for a long period of time. His alternate to Ash when it was banned out was Jackal for a long time with the PDW with an ACOG. Seems like he's now shifted over towards a Capital role in the last few weeks of Pro League and now leading up into the Milan finals.
Those long-distance gunfights, definitely a favorable entity for him, but Seems that things are going to start going down inside of side as Dan will find the first kill. Again, the newest member of Empire getting swapped out for Shockwave. Exactly a month ago, April 18th is when that got swapped up.
So that's the first frag initiated there for Team Empire onto DarkZero. And there goes Nyx, the top performing fragger on DarkZero. Lost inside a server, but they've done a decent job of killing 2 minutes. There's a minute ticking down now as the wall will be opened up by Shepard. Hatch control as well from Scyther as he's managed to open up those CCTV hatches and the hallway hatch. You've got 3 members of Empire now condensing inside of server, but you still have the pulse calls from Jarvis to be able to stall this out. You've got 2 Nitro Cells, you've got 2 Evil Eyes, you've got 3 Toxic Babes on the side of Mint. There's a lot of utility here to stall this out. Pushing into the garage, though, will be Joystick, losing almost half of his HP, but he's able to take down Hot and Cold. Another one will press, but Mint will fall back smartly as they need to worry about the plant attempt.
Still have plenty of time on the board for Empire, and all bodies still alive. Joystick still trying to motion in through God. Scyther's going to full send it down the hatch, though, and he's going to find the kill into BC, but he gets immediately traded out. Mint receiving half of that. Jarvis still picking it up. Only 20 seconds left. Jarvis very, very low on HP, though, but that will be the diffuser down as we're in post-plant situation.
Now Min rotating up towards the main stairs. He's going to go for a long flank topside, and it'll be up to Empire to have the flank drones in position and possibly Claymores in place. One rotating all the way to the kitchen hallway now. It appears to be Shepard through the wall. Min looking down through the CCTV hatch to see if anyone's holding close to diffuser, but they've all backed off. Team Empire playing the long waiting game, and there goes Shepard to knock him down on the flank. You've also got Mint, who was upstairs. He'll try to drop back down to the hallway hatch, but Joystick will cut him off. Beautiful push into the garage there, solo for the all-star fragger on Team Empire, and they'll take the attacking round and early lead, 1-0 on Bank.
Beautiful post-plant setup there by Empire. Keeping Joystick in garage was such a smart idea. Had that long angle on the single panel to look down red hallway. Ended up paying out in dividends.
Yeah, this server hold here from DarkZero did a good job of killing time. It just wasn't able to take any members of the attacking side with them when they fell to their grave. This push again from Joystick was masterful. He was able to pull it off solo. He didn't need any help. Aggressive push here by Scyther on the replay as well as he dropped down through the hallway hatch. That control there for DarkZero. While you did kill 2 minutes in the server, you didn't kill enough time, and that's when the execute started to split into 2 halves. You had the garage pressure from Joystick, as well as the plant attempt coming through. You can see Jarvis peek out in towards CCTV and grab a kill right beside the bomb chassis, but he didn't know the plant was going down because he had to pull off the cardiac sensor. So he didn't throw out the nitro cell, so he didn't stop the plant. So that distraction, that level of distraction and coordination for Team Empire garners them the first round.
Well, I think the biggest thing is Lockers is all about time waste. You have to waste as much time as possible. There's really only one way to execute onto the site, and that's go into the server room, open up that wall, get your plant down. But difference there for Empire was they established a lot of different lines of sight, which you don't traditionally see too often on Bank. I mean, you have Joystick push up through garage, holding down double door to where they can't rotate freely through the sides and try and play that red hallway safely, which ended up working out for them very, very nicely. I mean, even down to 40 seconds, they still hadn't had the diffuser down, but they still got enough of those frags where they still had everyone alive for Empire, could try and play the trade game, worked out for them.
So a little bit more open area presence this time from DarkZero as they try to initiate a roam. You've got open area hatches through the stock hallway reinforced as Jarvis will be the man to hold the mantle inside of open area, trying to lock that down and maintain some more map control. The big thing here for DarkZero is the role change now. You've got Nyx heading over to the Vigil, so we've definitely shifted focus. The bomb site is still downstairs, but you've got a Maestro of Hot and Cold playing inside of the elevator hallway on the main floor, commonly known as E2, and you've got the pressure from open area with Jarvis being protected by those reinforcements. So Karzeka will go for his initial entry upstairs as he did last round. He'll have much more to contend with on the main floor, though. The big thing for DarkZero is if they have the opportunity to peel back or if they're just trying to stand and fight for as long as possible.
That is a big thing, as you said, having those roamers, but they have to be able to get aggressive. Putting people out on roam is great, but most of the time, especially with Team Empire, they'll ignore you completely until you put pressure on them. We have to see that pressure, and that's exactly what we're going to want. Nyx finding Joystick initially. That'll be the Capitao down, no smoke bolts, no asphyxiating bolts either. Nyx trying to run with it.
Trying to rotate all the way towards ATMs to try and provide some cover and maybe a late flank if he's missed by drones. He is that Vigil with the ERC to shroud himself from the drones coming in, but it looks like Karzeka has a beat on this. He's aiming in towards ATMs, but has to split his focus towards the spiral stairs. Worried about a flank, and Shepard's got that cut off momentarily. Looks like they're going to try and duo up on Nyx inside of the ATM's hallway out towards the front doors in the main floor. They're doing a good job of killing a lot of time here, and that's a lot of utility loss on the side of Joystick with that Capitao going down. The pressure from Empire clearly split once again, but they don't have have any momentum to push forward towards the objective, and you've got now KarZeka having to rotate over for Shepard to blow open this elevator hatch.
They have all control of the top floor, but no one is anywhere else. Especially with Hot and Cold playing down here in the elevator hallway, able to give out call-outs and kills as Scyther will go down, but especially those call-outs for Nyx, allowing him to play safe up front. And once they abandon ship, Nyx can rotate back. But Shepard's gonna get aggressive down the elevator, taking shots. Dan will be the first one to go down though, as not too much is going on here for Empire, more or less just falling apart as Shepard will finally find a frag. KarZeka. Hot and Cold will be able to clean it up onto Shepard, but it's a 4v1. KarZeka not very much health, and he just has to try and find an initial frag. I mean, that's really the end of the game here.
He's toiling inside of open area now with no diffuser. He's going to run into some barbed wire as well, which will just slow his progress even more. He has to go for frags at this point, but everyone is still too far spread out. This is going to be a beautiful round win here for DarkZero. KarZeka simply does not have the time. He might be able to grab a stat pad and kill here onto Hot and Cold as he rotates towards the main stairs, but he's going to make it into safety into open area. 5 seconds tick down. There's nothing to be done. KarZeka wants his free kill to at least pad the stats, and he'll finally collect it. So DarkZero able to quickly equalize. On the round count, we're tied at 1. We're going to head to a new defense here for DarkZero. Good adaptation on the roam.
Yeah, very quick with it as well. That's something that we used to talk about a lot with DZ and just their old roster in general, is they were so very rigid, did not adapt too much, and when something new was presented to them, they did not know what to do. Empire, though, is one of those teams that will do the exact same thing over and over and over again with very minor adjustments and just keep pummeling you into the ground. But this time, DarkZero going to come out on top. We're equalized, 1-1.
Yeah, and for that round there, it seemed like Empire were caught off guard, and this is something that we've seen a couple times in their bank games throughout Pro League. The most recent one that comes to memory, I believe, was, I'm actually not going to say a team because I'm not 100% confident. But anyway, someone tried to bring out a roam game very late into the half after they were being decimated downstairs inside of a Pro League match, and it did not end very well for them. Empire kept racking up rounds on them when everyone stayed concise and concealed inside of CCTV and lockers and never tried to stretch out. Seems like a very early adaptation for DarkZero, but seems very beneficial as well. It clearly caught Empire off guard on their ability to maneuver the map with ease. That's what they had in the first round. They had free map control. As Parker would say, it was free real estate, and they came and took it. For that round there, a great stall job there for DarkZero, and I like the play from Nyx as well. He gets that first kill on a joystick, which is massive, obviously. It's joystick, and it's the Capitao down. Instead of falling back towards the objective and leaving Hot and Cold alone inside of the elevator hallway, plays ATMs. A very, very secluded area of the map where you can't have a lot of effect. The only thing that he really had purview on, which was beneficial, was covering Hot and Cold's flank from the main lobby, so he was able to play that reverse deployable shield for when the elevator drop came.
Not only that, but they were playing off of each other. Hot and Cold could hear them upstairs, and he's giving those calls to Nyx saying, hey, they're still above me. They still have your angle. Do not put any pressure. The more time they waste, the better off we are. And that's exactly what they did. Again, Nyx playing that vigil, not going to get spotted by drones. They're just going to know that his presence is there. Seems like Empire's heating things up now. KarZeka and Sophia, once again, they're getting a little aggressive here towards the main lobby.
Yeah, the entry in again through ATM. Seems like Empire reacting to the CEO defense. They need to switch up the take. They're going to have free entry in through top square. And it looks like DarkZero will try and contest this as best possible from the janitor closet or down the stock hallway towards the top floor elevators. Joystick out on a rappel in the main lobby windows. His first worry will be anyone making it into main lobby to peek him, and also a wild Jarvis appearing as a legion in the midst. And now one downstairs has been spotted out as Nyx on the pulse this time. This is another thing that I want to spot out for DarkZero and point out, is that their rotation of operators is massive. They have an incredible depth to be able to play a multitude of operators, but Dan will cut down Nyx before he even has the chance to launch out that Nitro Cell. So the duo of Dan and Shepard will get the wall opened. You've got pressure from Joystick on the north windows. It's a beautiful start for Empire.
Joystick still in these windows at M249 ringing true, but it's not going to make any contact here. Dan trying to play the long angle as he is going to see that Evil Eye, that new nerf to those Evil Eyes going to come into effect there, as Evil Eye will get ripped off the wall by one of those bullets after he thatchers it, which opens it up. You are able to shoot in and destroy it, so no longer going to be in any effect on this round.
Mint was peeking out of this janitor closet door last time around and earlier on in the round, but now it's BC to hold his cover. Mint, though, down by the asphyxiating bolt, and he's trying to drop down through the hatch. He'll get docked by BC inside of the closet, and no, Shepard will still be able to take down Mint. So the smoke, the most crucial operator for the plant denial remaining, will be removed from play, as now both Mint and Nyx are taken off. You've lost a lot of intel, you've lost a lot of plant denial. You've got to go for it right now if you're Team Empire to suffocate the rest of DarkZero remaining, but Hot and Cold will strike back at the hearts of Empire. Empire. Scyther will fall. There goes your Hibana. Again, already doing your job, popping open these reinforced walls in the depths of the objective. Hot and cold with another one, though, on the Alda. Lasing in with 81 bullets, and he'll collect 2 bodies for his troubles.
All on the window left for Empire as Joystick's going to send it through with that M249. Not going to meet any contact just yet. Karzeka going to keep angle. Joystick will don the mantle of the diffuser. Smoke bolts coming down. He's going to have to try and go for plant. Pre-fires coming through, but nothing going to make contact. All except for BC, everyone. 2 headshots, 2 kills, and DarkZero with 2 rounds.
DarkZero on back-to-back defensive stands. That one got a little shakier than the previous one, but it worked out. Hot and cold really being the catalyst on that one. They're down a man, and he flips that right around to a man advantage for DarkZero. So we stand at a 2-1 scoreline. Nothing to write home about just yet. We're still in the early days going in this best-of-3 series. But for the meantime, we're sitting pretty right now if you're a DarkZero fan. This Doc stim pistol from BC was almost so perfect because Shepard was about to peek the corner. If Mint had instead stood and fought with the shotgun in hand, that could have been a beautiful tandem play between the both of them.
I mean, calm and chaos, BC. 3 kills on that round alone. I mean, he's got no hair. He's bald. Who else would you expect to be cool, calm, and collected? Am I right? Especially the Frag Master himself. What a beautiful shot on that last one right there. As we will be going to Tellers next. But we'll say, though, so far, those initial frags from DarkZero, very, very good. They've had enough initial picks, especially at the start of rounds on these defensive side, to really put a lot of pressure on Empire, especially for that window rappel. They had to force someone to swing in. Joystick swings in, gets punished for it, especially by the hands of BC.
Yeah, we talk a lot about Empire's reputation, and Empire obviously were the best team in the regular season of any Pro League region, at least in the main 3. And they had 32 points at the end of it. It was besting FaZe, who had 30. And for Empire, I think there's a lot of fear behind that name now. They came in from Challenger League to start off this season, and they're a little unknown, and I think teams were content to stand and fight with them. That definitely cooled off as we headed into the 6th Invitational in Montreal and throughout the back half of the season. I think they've lost a lot of aggression, though, losing Shockwave. It seems like Empire themselves have become more timid, and it seems like the teams who can identify that and take advantage are starting to really put a stranglehold in on Empire, and they have to fight out of some holes. They did not fare well in the back, I guess, half of the second half of the season. They were undefeated up until week 11, and then the wheels started to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, 30 days is quite a bit of time, but the whole key factor here is it enough? But not right now for Mint. C4, speaking of Dan, he's going to fall down. No Thatcher alive anymore, so that means no EMPs. Hard destruction going to take a toll on that one.
You still have 2 hard destructors, and you got breach charges upstairs from Karzeka. A lot of soft destruction being brought with the lifeline and 3 breaching charges. The update to them as well. Better surface area on those clears. We got a nice replay on that Nitro Cell. The faith to wait it out. Beautiful patience there from Mint, an experienced player all the way back from day 1 of year 1 of Pro League. This wall has been opened up, though, from the small office and open area into the objective, so a little bit of pressure for DarkZero to contend with. Another thermite charge will go off, and you hear the Legion Mines triggering and giving away information. Karzeka's going to take more damage than he deals. He actually doesn't hit a single shot to that punch hole in the wall, so now the Zofia taking fire. You've got pressure from inside of open area right now, inside of kitchen. I think that's Jarvis right now on the Valkyrie inside of kitchen. No, it's Mint on the pulse inside of open area, giving calls for the rest of the team. And again, it's stalling out Empire. They've made their progress. They've got a wall breached open into the objective. They have top control, yet they cannot convert this into a site execute.
We have Houghton and Mint, both former Pro League finalist members. Haven't won just yet. Previously on Flipside, as most of you guys do know, but going to come up big here for Shepard. He's going to take down Nyx, but is it going to be enough? They're trying to get the wall open over here inside of Tellers, try and get some pressure. But as of right now, it's falling stagnant. Still plenty of time as they have the vertical pressure here, but just not going to be enough. Finally getting the wall open is Shepard. He is the mantle holding of the diffuser here, so he can hop over and possibly get a plant down, but they're going to need angles. They have elevator taken down, but Joystick will find BC. That'll be the entry frag that they possibly need. Joystick will fall, though, to the hands of Mint. They can still rotate in. They're playing over inside of open area, and they're going to have that wall open where they can possibly claim the life of Cypher.
Gotta remember playing inside of open area as he tries to rip out. Jarvis will fall, hitting a Legion Mine though as Shepard tries to push through, bearing in hand. Mint collects a kill onto Karzeka. It's a 1v2 now as Hot and Cold will fall. It's all Mint alone upstairs. He's gonna play the cardiac sensor from above for the plant. Can he get there in time? Shepard planting in right behind the bomb. Cover from above, and the plant will go down. Mint will have to return and retake into the objective in a 1v2. Plenty of holes opened up from above, and the cardiac sensor just not relaying enough information. He'll find pings onto one on the heartbeat, looking down in behind to the racks. Watch the rotate, but can't land the shots. Shepard on 20 HP as he backs off deeper and deeper out of Archives. You've got Teller's side to worry about as well. Inside of the main lobby is Scyther holding down on a lot of HP. The vault down into the lobby. It's not going to be heard by Scyther, and he's going to make it into the objective right beside the diffuser, trying to stick this. Lots of shot will come in through the soft wall, but Scyther will be the one to collect it from the main lobby. We draw even once again in a back and forth contest at 2-2.
It was going to require an ace from Mint, but it's just not enough. 3K, though, there for him on that round, as we're going to be more than likely going back. We still can go back down to lockers. It's been enough rounds to head back downstairs, so more than likely we will be seeing that. Is exactly what we're going to see here, Flynn, as they're actually going to don the regular operators here, as we are going to have exactly every single same operator. So they're going back to the original strat, unless they're going to try and 6-pick out for the Vigil once again and try and go for the roam. But I'm going to suspect that they're going to go back to the original plan, just because they already showed off what happened when Nyx was roaming, everything else, and more than likely Empire is going to get aggressive on those roamers this time around.
Yeah, you got to be worried about the counter strategy here, and that's something that we talked about way back in the day with Flipside, and now leading into the DarkZero days is the ability for this team to flip on a dime and always keep things coming at you different. So, as the crowd roars, we head into round number 5. Lockers and CC once again. DarkZero 1 for 2 on the objective so far. Like you said, Empire not really swapping up operators, and this is what happens with Empire. They don't make changes. They run the same 5 ops. They don't make any alterations to the strategy. They'll run it into the ground, and they'll keep trying to contest you at every turn. For DarkZero, though, it's not what we've been seeing from them. A very, very fluid roster as far as operators, roles. You've got Jarvis flexing between 3 different operators. Same thing for Mint, same thing for Nyx. They love to cycle the carousel of operators. They have no fear of mixing up roles and going and taking a shot like this. Jarvis running up the tunnel just in case anyone from Empire is getting a little too aggressive.
Watch out for the adjustment here by DarkZero. So they're going to go back to the original strat, just like we said earlier. But they're going to play hot and cold a little bit safer inside of Garage, because they know that Joystick is more than likely going to be taking the exact same way, just like they've been doing every single time throughout their entire Pro League season, throughout SI. I mean, this is just what Empire is known for, is pummeling you into the ground with the same strategy over and over and over again. Can DZ, though, make the adjustment to beat them out on the strat that they used originally? We're about to find out.
Well, for DarkZero, again, like you said, returning back to form of playing down inside of the basement. Not a lot of map control, and it seems like just the threat. Okay, Scyther even anticipating a Frost pick. I like it, or maybe a Legion Mine, just trying to hip fire, pre-fire for a Legion Mine in the window. Either or, you can see the heads of Empire seemingly been infiltrated by DarkZero and their, I guess, less than typical strategies. You're going to see a lot of utility utilized to take down this deployable shield and hold from the top of server stairs. This is all pretty standard so far. The biggest thing that worries me for DarkZero right now is Nyx takes a lot of damage from up top, and he'll have to retreat down the server stairs, is the amount of time that DarkZero have killed. It's not much. The pace at which Empire are moving right now is quite brisk, and there's not a lot impeding their progress. There are pings at the base of the main stairs and towards Garage, but Joystick will continue to hold this flank until his dying breath.
Yeah, Nyx is more or less a lost cause right now. Shepard knows that he's there. He's going to identify him on a drone, but Nyx is going to continue to stave off on this island. Shepard's going to hold his rotate from downstairs. Actually, Nyx is going to try and rotate possibly into server. No, he will stay downstairs at the bottom of blue. They're throwing flashbangs. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, and finally, his life will be claimed by Dan. But that was a huge time waste. Only a minute left on the clock, but that's going to be plenty of time for them to possibly get this diffuser down.
Last time we saw Empire convert with a minute left and one initial pick onto Nyx. So once again, the server hold killing a little bit of time, a little less than last time around, but they also lose a body for it. We've got Jarvis again able to peel back inside of Gold to provide the calls. Shepard will open up both reinforced walls this time around inside of CCTV. They have an Evil Eye to worry about right now, and Dan is still alive. Not sure if he has any EMPs. He does have one remaining now, and he'll send that final one out in towards the back to find the second Evil Eye as it'll be opened up and destroyed. Attack to Babe is deployed from Mint to try and prolong this ingress here, and a lot of utility being dumped in to try and force the plant. They've lost their their control. There's 20 seconds left and they need to go in. Holding the long angle is Hot and Cold, and there's no pressure from the back this time. Joystick not going for his garage flank. Hot and Cold take a lot of damage though. Shepard getting the plant down. Karzeka with a kill. Dan will fall, but the plant will be completed. Jarvis in the dying seconds will take down Shepard, so they've equalized in manpower, but they're down on health. They have to worry about the top control from Joystick as well at the hatches. Pushing into the hallway door will be Mint, and he'll be immediately eliminated as there goes your smoke. Up top on the desk now is Joystick, wary of any nitro cells. Jarvis was not able to connect with his. He makes it in behind the A-bomb. Scyther will collect a kill onto Hot, and the ping's coming out onto Jarvis in a 1v3, twisting and evading the flashbangs. He rips into Server, but he will fall as well. Joystick, again, once inside a garage, once inside a Server. The pivot point on the round for Empire, and they take the lead once again.
Empire on post plant is so very dangerous. You guys can see the setup every single time they get that post plant. They keep bodies on every single exit. Good luck with a flank on that one. So we did have the Habana playing main. We had one watching over the diffuser as well as another one playing the hatch. I mean, how much more control could you possibly want?
Well, it's been a back and forth contest there, and Jarvis, yeah, in the dying seconds, just milliseconds away from stopping that plant in its tracks and honestly winning the round there if you're DarkZero. You had equal man count at that point, and someone's got to go down for the defuse attempt. Just milliseconds away there for DarkZero on the timing, but Empire, again, looking strong on that attack. It seems like when they have that free real estate on the top 2 floors of Bank, they're afforded way too much control, and they move in with ease. There's no contestation from DarkZero, and they play with their food. They toy with their food. We're going back downstairs to lockers and CCTV for the 6th and final defense, lest we go overtime for DarkZero.
We'll say one thing, though. It seems that things have gotten a lot more methodical for Empire, but quite a bit of improvement on utility usage as well as flank holding. They had that pretty down pat at SI. Nice to see that things have not changed, and it seems that they're getting a lot more of those opening frags without having refrags immediately. As you guys saw with that stat line of, Joystick, a lot of opening kills, but also a lot of opening deaths. Seems like this more methodical playstyle is working out pretty well for them, and especially that experiment there for DZ, realizing that they're going to have to try and put pressure on them off-site.
Well, you got to think about the role that Joystick's playing now. He is still getting kills, but he's on a different operator, and the ADS time on that M249 is not to be forgotten in this equation when it comes to being able to snap and get reactionary kills. It's not going to benefit you the most in comparison to something like an R4C or a PDW for that matter, or the 5.52 Commando. Any of those former weapons, you're still on a 3-speed operator, you got a hefty weapon you got to lug around.
Very, very true. And also, difference in utility. I mean, you really have to respect that tactical bow and how good it is on getting you into sight. He doesn't want to die too early on. Yes, he's still going to try and go for these aggressive roam clears and things along those lines, but he's trying to stay alive, trying to keep that utility up. He's not just going to full send it like he used to with Ash. You're not going to see that too often. But Nyx will find the opening frag. It's Karzeka, which means no more Zofia.
Here comes an succeeding bolt onto the door frame, but it will not connect onto Hot and Cold. And emptying that drum box magazine is Joystick into the depths of Tellers and Archives through those soft walls, but he won't connect on a single bullet. More drones being dispatched of, and Nyx is playing with fire, but he collects another one. Sorry, that was the replay, but Hot and Cold will grab it. I'm looking at the wrong screen. We all got to get used to the new format here.
Oh my goodness gracious. No, Joystick going to go down to the hands of Hot and Cold, and this looks like a round for DarkZero that's going to be very, very good. Once again, they're putting the roam pressure out there. I can't take you seriously right now. Anyways, DarkZero putting the roam pressure out there, being a very big deal, as we saw in the previous round where they did this. Team Empire really just doesn't know how to act. They keep going single file towards gunfights and losing them. You don't want to do that. You want to at least get the trade, but they're not even doing that. And we're already down to a minute. They really don't have much pressure. Dan's trying to get rid of an ADS. Everything is just on fire for Empire right now.
Good thing for them, though, is that they've collected the life of Mint inside of Server. So there goes a lot of your plant denial. You have one Nitro cell remaining on BC. You've also the Evil Eyes for now. Big thing, though, is that Dan is still alive, and the soft wall will now be opened up. One EMP will go out, and there goes one of the Evil Eyes. Oh, a big shot there from Houghton, though, as he retreats down the main stairs. And again, will connect onto the head of Scyther. Laying prone and laying in wait is BC in the back. He shoots out a drone. The call will come out, but he's got a Nitro cell in the back pocket. Hot and Cold, 3 on the round, going for 4. Dan on half HP in the midst of Server. No diffuser control, and the Nitro cell from Brandon Carr will lock it down. It's a 3-3 scorelines. We head into the half.
Brandon Carr, explosives. What else do you expect but a kill? As we're going to tie it up 3-3 here in the first half. And I don't think a lot of people, especially us talent, all except for you, Flynn.
Except for me, big boy.
Thought that it was going to go this way, but a lot closer than a lot of people expected.
Hey man, I got the purple on, I got the purple tie, I got the purple pocket square. I'm repping DarkZero because I'm the lone survivor in that prediction pool, man.
I only look good in blue, so that's why we're going with this today. That's it. That's it. I can't do the purple. Can't. But tell you who can do the purple. DarkZero right now is going toe-to-toe with an absolute titan of EU.
Absolutely. Number 1 seed coming out of EU against the number 2 seed in North America. As you noted with that prediction pool from CGG of a lot of casters and analysts is that a lot of people had Empire winning this quite handedly. They thought Empire still looked too dominant. The run from SI looked so impressive all the way to the very end, even to the end of map 1 against G2 in the grand final. Looked incredible. DarkZero are also going to take a tack time out here to reorganize their thoughts and figure out what they want to do on the attacking side, as they will swap. You got to worry about what Empire are going to be bringing on the defense, and most importantly, you need to isolate Joystick.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, I feel like they needed to make the adjustment for Joystick. Put him on something he can get more aggressive with. It's something, a big conversation that we had about Laxing quite a bit as well. He has team utility, which means he doesn't want to get overly aggressive, because if you lose him, then that's a lot of site execute that you don't have anymore. We saw it in that last round. They would have had Capital. No one would have been able to put pressure on Red Hallway, but you didn't have him. Wasn't working out for them too well. Bring him with somebody else. Put him on a different operator on offense. But, I mean, we're going to see exactly what he's going to play on defense. I mean, anyone can predict this. He's going to play Jaeger. That's what he's going to play. And he's going to be very, very aggressive.
Well, I like this 6-pick coming out from Dan as well onto the Ella.
Oh.
Bringing an FO12. So bringing Ella's shotgun with a deployable to play server stairs. It's not that innovative.
And there.
It's been done before. But this is also a strategy that DarkZero never implemented. They never put a shotgun on server stairs. They always tried to play it with either Nyx or Jarvis on the Pulse or the Jaeger, trying to play server stairs, and they back off and they try and bait the kill in instead of playing it hard stead on the top of server stairs with a shotgun. So I imagine that'll be the alteration for Empire and the difference between the two different defensive holds on this objective.
This is really going to test the merit of DarkZero, because they have to keep track of Dan inside of blue stairs while they're taking over server. If he's allowed to get too aggressive into server, he's going to at least come out with 1 kill. That FO12 is nothing to deal with, especially in that close of range. But what they can do is they can isolate him out, and if they're quick enough, they can get him out of there, dig him out of the hole, and then immediately go for that that server wall with the thermite. So we'll see exactly how they want to try and deal with this. More than likely, yes, they're going to be having Scyther play downstairs in server, keep track of things so that Dan knows exactly what's coming at him.
The one interesting note here for DarkZero as well is that Nyx is playing Maverick. Typically his on the role on the team is that his role is to entry, his role is to frag. We've seen him plenty of times on Ashe. We've seen him on a myriad of different operators that don't provide a whole lot of utility. Like he's played Sledge before, but BC coming back, obviously. That's kind of his thing. Interesting that it's the Maverick, though, because he has that team utility that might actually be necessary should Hot and Cold find himself in a predicament where he's locked in a corner and they need to get a hatch open ASAP. He might not even be dead. He just might be preoccupied and locked down from a location where he needs to go. And that's going to force Nyx off of his fragging roll, off of his entry roll, to go utilize the utility. But he's already made it into the small office, and he's got to rotate now from BC with the Sledgehammer.
Might have a prediction coming out here. It's going to be exactly that. The EMP is going to go down. Nade goes out. Is it going to hit him? No, not even going to get rid of the shield, but it's going to be pretty close. Doesn't do much damage to Dan, but he's lying in wait with that FO12 now. Very wide awake after that explosive just went off in his eyes.
Shrapnel flying and ears ringing, but he'll evade into safety as Dan will push down towards the bottom of the server stairs. The hatch is open now, so he can't necessarily back out. He's throwing more Gersmont mines towards the top of the stairs, but they've been shot out. There's still one remaining at the top of the door frame, though. He's laying prone. Flashbangs comes raining in. Another frag grenade at his doorstep, but BC will collect the kill with the L85 regardless. A shot to the back of the skull will put Dan 6 feet under. And now you've got Joystick holding alone inside a server. He might be locked down here as well as BC looks to engage.
Frag grenades, bullets, this man can do it all. We'll see if Joystick can outlast DZ behind server. Doesn't have very many angles to worry about, just Hatch, Mud, and one more, but he's gonna get set on fire. He's gonna have to get aggressive. Will he take a frag before he goes down? No, BC will find him, twisting in the wind, down in server.
They lose an Evil Eye as well to the Sledgehammer of BC, but only 35 seconds remaining. That's the difference between Empire's attacks and DarkZero's attacks on this basement, was the amount of time control they had when they got the server wall open. The first Toxic Babe will come out in response to the wall being open. You gotta worry about a flank here too. Shepard's thinking about it. He's worried about a flank of DarkZero's own coming down the main stairs. Not a lot of time left, and the second Toxic Babe will come out and push Hot and Cold off of that plant attempt. Smoke bolts come raining in, a Nitro Cell sent deep, and it'll connect onto Hot and Cold. There goes the diffuser, but Nick's got one in the process. Onto Shepard. Inside another one, Jarvis will fall. They have to collect the diffuser in the dying seconds. Karzeka with a kill onto Nix. The plant going down into the site, into the overtime with one man covering BC up against the server wall inside of CC. The plant is successful. It's a 1v2 for Karzeka to work out of. No more Toxic Babes. Only 3 shots in the shotgun, but he's got a full mag on the SMG-11, turning the corner slowly as BC turns away in towards the rotate. 8 shots left. He's got to turn quickly. BC on the other side of the wall playing close. Karzeka will grab the kill. It's down to Mint. He's topside with Hatch control. He needs to wait for the rotation, but he's putting a drone into the site for calls from the rest of the team to know when Karzeka pushes in. The drone will isolate this info, and there goes a Claymore from Jarvis. Unable to spot out the red lasers inside a server. DarkZero take the lead on their first attack.
What a round. Going into the overtime, I thought they had it when they got the frag on the man putting diffuser down. But to no avail, Empire trying very, very hard to fight that back, but it's not going to happen.
Get off me. Stop touching my face.
You have paper towel on your head.
I don't.
You have paper towel on your head.
I don't. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. That round, again, a beautiful execution in dire straits for DarkZero. The execution with the time available to them was the big difference maker. So in that round, and we compare it to DarkZero's defensive rounds where they're trying to hold and they were trying to anchor up on the objective. They didn't have a lot of time and they didn't have a lot of map control on their attack this time around in the server. Karzeka running headstrong into that. Claymore was the demise, but he also had top control for a Mint. That round wasn't really going any other way. As soon as that hatch control was had, would have taken too long for Karzeka to rotate all the way upstairs and then drop back down. So, beautiful play there from DarkZero in a moment where it looked like they might even flounder in a 3v5. They were looking good in man control, clearing out server. Amount of utility utilized to do it was adequate. They're able to get both the kills inside the server without losing a single body, and that site execute, while it was pure pandemonium, it was still effective, and they're able to get the round for it. So Empire will repeat downstairs. We'll see if they send Joystick out on a bit more of a roaming mission, or if they keep him inside a server.
Well, that is the one thing about lockers. Post-plant is so hard for the defense. Extremely easy for the offense, especially once you get upstairs. You just set a Claymore and you wait. That's about it. And that's going to pay DZ around, as they are going to be going back downstairs for Empire, though. And once again, we will be seeing if Joystick will possibly go on roam. DZ probably going to take things a little bit slower this time around. Probably prefacing this with, is Joystick going to leave the basement or not? Because that's something you definitely need to know.
Well, we talked about in the half during the tack break for DarkZero, talked about whether or not they were going to be able to isolate Joystick. Well, he's been doing a good job of that himself, just locking himself inside of server and not really venturing out elsewhere on the map. So you got Jarvis holding down the flanks as Joystick did at the top of the main stairs. And for the most part, again, it seems like Team Empire want to surrender the map control. And for most times, when teams have surrendered the map control downstairs in the basement and kind of turtled up with 5 on site, hasn't gone well for them. Not a single one have won the round when turtling up like that.
Yes, they've abandoned ship of the blue stairs strat, playing everybody downstairs inside of server. But it seems like everyone's going to abandon that after the top hatch gets blown open, which, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's basically a death warrant if you stay there. So not going to waste too much time this time around, so DZ more than likely going to have pressure early on here, and we'll see how they handle it. If you are an Empire fan, you're going to want to see these initial frags coming out when the diffuser starts to go down, but it's going to be a lot of utility management. You're going to want Karzeka to try and keep a hold of those Toxic Babes for so long. What a blunder. BC is going to actually kill Jarvis. He's been fragging out the other team, but he turns tail and actually is going to be getting a frag onto Jarvis here. So no more Thatcher. He already used those EMPs, but could have definitely used those to help out with Scyther instead of Gold Vault, on the cardiac sensor.
You gotta worry about those Evil Eyes, you gotta worry about the cardiac sensor, you gotta worry about Vault cams.
ADSs.
You can even EMP, a Toxic Babe out of midair, should you choose to, and should you be so lucky. But you got plenty of time here for DarkZero. You're just lacking a little bit of top control right now and the manpower. Mint is going upstairs to try and ascertain this top control. They had the hatch open the whole time, but they had to swap out Nyx and Mint. So now, 45 seconds remaining. They're going to clear more ADSs as the flashbangs come raining in. He'll send his final one into the, nope, not into the red hall. He will bounce that in properly, and it will rain out. You got two holding out the garage push right now. Is that Nyx that will fall? Joystick, though, down in the process as he turned the corner. You got to worry about the side execute, though, as one Nitro Cell in the hands of Dan. Being burnt alive by that asphyxiating bolt, but the Nitro Cell will connect onto BC, and there goes Mint with the asphyxiating bolt to shred it right out immediately. Being zapped by the Evil Eyes now is hot and cold. Another Nitro Cell, but it won't connect this time from Scyther. The plant going down right at the breach hole in your default plant spot. Looking up, though, Mint has hatch control. They both go rushing over to stop the plant and dropping in. Mint grabs one, looking in towards the server stairs, but there's no time left. Being zapped by the Evil Eyes, he makes it to server stairs, but Kazareka able to escape to safety at the top beyond the reaches of the hatch, and dropping back down, he'll collect the free kill. We're tied once again. Back and forth we go on Bank. No one able to establish a 2-round lead.
What a blunder there by BC, and it really sucks, especially for him. He's been performing so well throughout this map, and I think a lot of BC fans, old guard EG fans, really wanting to see BC step up, and that's exactly what he's been doing. Been performing so very well, but you really can't fault him on one mistake. I mean, they still have quite a few rounds to play. I'm going to assume that it was more than likely getting the Valkyrie camera here, or exactly what happened. I think we're about to find out. Oh, BC was trying to pre-fire the long angle, and Jarvis ran in front of him. So, an honest mistake. He just didn't put him in the dirt for no reasons. That's good. That's good.
You can see the top control there for Mint just wasn't enough, as he had two members of Empire vault over the desk at the exact same time. Try and stop the plant going down from hot and cold. And you can see, yeah, he turned away at just the most inopportune time, and Karzeka playing the long game there. A good play from him, even though Shepard could have still stalled out the plant with the Evil Eyes, but now we had to Teller's Archives for Empire. 4-4 game, and even with Fnatic and Norengo going the distance, this has also been a very, very close game. Different format, at least from the first map, from Norengo and Fnatic, as that was a 5-1 half. That was met with a 5-1 half, and we led into an overtime 8-7 and then 8-6 for the second map on Clubhouse. This time around, we're back and forth, neck and neck, no one able to escape the jaws of each other.
It's the Flynn curse. That's what it is. It is the Flynn curse. We will go to overtime on every map, and it will go to third map. Mark it down. Clip it. That's what's going to happen. I can tell you it right now. So, we'll say one thing, though. I'd really enjoy if we could see the scoreboard, please. I want to see how that is currently adding up. Thank you, sir. Hot and cold at the top of DZ, and we're going to have the most frags being held by Karzeka, followed up by Joystick and Scyther tied at 6. So, pretty good going so far for both teams here. Nobody really lagging behind at all.
Pretty even spread. Nyx actually at the bottom of the kill board right now, as far as, the scoreboard as far as kills are concerned. He's got 3 right now for the side of DarkZero. I know you can't see that back at home, but that's why we're relaying this information to you. So Nyx back on the Ashe as well, as after he was on the Maverick for the last 2 rounds, attacking in towards the basement. They're going to change things up here as it's a CEO attack. You got 2 drones stalled out inside of the main hallway. You got to worry about blowing them up to smithereens with this remote grenade launcher. You also have to be very wary of any impact trick coming from above. Was that wall soft? It was. So Empire leaving the right side of the square wall soft in towards the CEO lounge. This is a problem here for Empire if they were really trying to hold out at top floor as long as possible. That's a big glaring hole to leave open. You can really sacrifice the reinforcements downstairs, especially if you stretch in towards more of an open area small office defense.
Joystick might start seeing double here as Ashe is motioned in, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Nick's going to rip him apart with that G36C coming back to bite him. He said, you're not going to use it? Well, I will, as Dan will fall as well, and that's the entire top floor in the hands of DarkZero.
And all it would have taken was 2 reinforcements on the left side. He's got a 3rd target on the main stairs. Oh, what a reactionary shot by Nyx! In the depths of despair, Scyther had him dead to rights. And all of a sudden, Nyx with 3 on the round now, pole vaulting towards the top of the leaderboard now in terms of kills. DarkZero on a rampage on the backs of that G36C.
You call the man out, the back of his neck gets hot, and he starts going to work. Next, 3 frags to open up here for DarkZero. Mint's gonna tack on. It's Karzeka down. It's all left up to Shepard. Drone's gonna spot him out. Lots of people to find, but not very many bullets in that SMG-11 to deal with him. Might have to get a couple of shotgun kills if he's going to get that clutch ace. He has 3 toxic babes by his side, but I don't see this going his way.
Locked in behind the bomb chassis and these bookshelves inside of Archives, looking towards the top of square, but it's a perfect lockout for DarkZero. Another leading round for DarkZero. Can they extend it in the next one to match point? Will we finally see an extension of a 2-round lead, or is this going to fall back once again to a 5-5 draw as we head into the dying moments of regulation?
Now this is going to test the true merits of the new Team Empire. Are they going to stay cool, calm, and collected like they always are? Or are they going to get flustered? Or are we going to see Dan start to falter? What will happen? Dan currently bottom of the leaderboard, but again, he has been playing quite a bit of support. Right now he's going to be playing Capital, so he has been more or less flexing the entire match so far. But we'll tell you one thing though, Mint shot up to 9 kills, or excuse me, Nick's on 5 now. Actually, if I read that correctly, I don't know exactly if I did. I'm going to say I didn't, because quick math would say that he is currently at 7.
I was going to say, he was at
I thought
3.
I saw 5 out of the corner of my eye. I apologize about that. But no, hot and cold at 9, almost in the double-digit territory.
So if you have 3 Stokes and then you have 4?
It means 7.
Oh, no, he'd be at 6. He only got 3 in that round. Jarvis got the final kill. So we're both terrible at math. Let's get back into it. It's a 5-4 lead right now for DarkZero. As now the defense shifts to the top floor of CEO for Team Empire. Castle Barricade's coming out from Dan, and this is pretty typical for the setup on the banana hallway windows. They do finally reinforce the left-hand side of CEO this time, as it is the objective, contrary to just the top hold vertical of the objective. Almost identical operators once again for the attacking side for DarkZero. BC taking up a Zofia now, so no frag grenades on our favorite frag grenade player inside of Pro League, but hey, nonetheless, he has 2 impacts and he has 2 stuns in the lifeline. A lot of utility to be utilized there. Mint as well, and I think this is an interesting note that we've been seeing a whole heck of a lot of the M249. We haven't really been seeing a whole lot of the para these days, and the scope seems to be a big differentiating factor, as nothing has actually changed with the M249. Recoil pattern hasn't changed, the rate of fire hasn't changed, the amount of ammo hasn't changed. It's just the scope that seems to be this bright, flashy, shiny new toy that everyone wants to use. But the para, still a serviceable weapon, and it seems like Mint is still favoring the para, and the opportunity to have an angle grip on it, if you should choose to have better ADS time, it's a different beast. And I think he's one of the only remaining pros, actually, that run the para when running Capital. We've been seeing a lot of the M249 as of late.
I mean, that scope, especially with the zoom on the scope, because it's not nearly as much as the ACOG is. It's more or less a 1.5x sight. But you have that nice, just pretty dot in the center. Works out so well for a lot of these top-end fraggers. But next, again, still going to be on that G36C, and that's another weapon that we've talked about previously in this round. Fantastic to have that ACOG and that angled grip, just like we were talking about with the para, being able to ADS faster as well with your favorite sight, very big deal.
You can see this wall blown open from the elevator for Karzeka to have purview in towards the front desk office. We've got Scyther on the dock. It's usually Karzeka on the dock, so they've made a bit of a change here to typical roles. But Scyther on the dock this time around, who was the top fragger in the regular season for Team Empire for Season 9 inside of EU Pro League. He's laying in wait again inside of the front desk room, waiting for anyone to push him through the ATM windows or even rappel out onto the north side. You've got one member rappelled upside down on the north side, another entry coming in being spotted out on the bulletproof camera. There's a plant going down from hot and cold. What in the world?
What in the world, especially joysticks all the way downstairs. He's on a delayed flank, and the diffuser's down, and they don't know. That's 5 alive. Dan's going to be the first one to go down. It's going to get followed up by Shepard, as he will be able to find a kill with that M590. But what a blunder to not have the information on that plant.
Nobody aware of the plant going down on the side of Team Empire. You still have the upside down rappel of BC on the windows, which is almost impossible to combat. His head pokes out for just a moment, but Karzeka will fall. And a good tray back there from Scyther out on the north windows. He's going to the main lobby to pressure, and now Shepard has made it in on top of the diffuser. He's going to smoke out the windows and try and go for the disable. Tucked in behind the chair of the desk. Nobody able to spot this. Finally, Nyx, though, will take down Shepard. It's a clean sweep once again. DarkZero on match point on map number 1 on the lack of intel for Team Empire.
Oh man, oh man. 2 Evil Eyes, none of them addressing what was going on in that situation. So that's not fun. But I will say one thing, very sneaky. And the biggest thing right there is they did not respect that they had the wall open. They opened the wall into CEO office, but they don't grant anything. They're just like, okay, yeah, the wall's open, that's fine. We're going to allow them to have that. He just crouch walks in, throws the diffuser down, and especially Shepard on the smoke. Or excuse me, Karzeka on the smoke. Apologies. Karzeka on the smoke.
You had it right the first time. That's next round, honey. It's fine. You'll get there. Yeah, for that round there, like you said, they didn't respect that they had the wall open, and honestly, that came down to a narrow engagement there with Nyx. If he wasn't able to spot that, because we've seen this happen before earlier in EU Pro League. I believe it was in an Empire game as well, if I remember correctly, on Bank, where someone had tucked inside of the chair in the CEO desk and got a defuse off because they couldn't see him. They didn't know the defuse was happening. They didn't know the countermeasures were being taken place. But nonetheless, we finally have our first 2-round lead as again the crowd erupts, seemingly in favor of the North American squad on European soil. We head downstairs to lockers and CCTV for possibly our final defense on Bank. Empire gonna need to win 2 back-to-back on Bank, which they have yet to do on the defensive side, and anyone has yet to do in this entire game other than DarkZero on the attack, to keep this map alive. And we're going to Oregon with Empire down a map.
Going to be very tough, as we stated earlier, especially with DarkZero's favorite map being Oregon. Again, 3-0-1, only loss to Evil Geniuses, which, again, very, very big deal because Evil Geniuses has looked so very good this entire season. And we will see them later today, speaking of the devil, but still have this match to pay attention to, obviously. DarkZero Esports in lead 6-4. Right now, Empire not looking too hot. Dan especially has been picked off quite early on a handful of rounds. This has not been looking too hot for him so far. We'll see if they can try and change things up here on this locker defense. But as of right now, DZ is running away with it.
Again, we've got the flanks held, and we've got no roaming pressure for Team Empire throughout the midst of the map on anything but the basement, which is your objective. So for DarkZero, again, it seems like a little bit of copy and paste, a carbon copy of what we've been going through the last few times when defending on the basement. We're a minute deep, though, and last time it was DarkZero with the time control that seemed to be a bit of an issue, but they were able to pull it out nonetheless. You also got Mint on the Ying this time, as opposed to the Capitao, as opposed to maybe a shield if you wanted to bring that out. That's another thing we haven't noticed a whole lot is the shield play. Mint with the Ying, the last second pick here, and this is what we talk about with the carousel of operators that DarkZero enjoy playing. They have pocket strats for just about every scenario with every operator conceivable under the sun.
Well, so far it seems like DZ has definitely picked Bank for a reason. It's because they know how to play it. I mean, the amount of execution that they've had throughout, and timing especially, very, very big deal. Getting this wall open here is hot and cold already. Plenty of time for them to waste as much utility as possible. Look at the likes of Karzeka and Dan. They want to get rid of all of that utility, that nitro cell, and all of those toxic gas grenades.
Well, this is good here. You've got more than a minute remaining to try and go for a plant execute. The first toxic bait from Karzeka will come out and try and stall. You're able to push hot and cold off the plant attempt, but you've got frag grenades descending in towards the back of the Red Hall, and Evil Eye still top right to be able to stall out the plant attempt. Nitro Cell comes soaring out, and Dan will connect, sending hot and cold to the grave. Someone else will have to file in. Next man up for DarkZero is it'll be BC to collect the diffuser. Drones coming in to try and get a better picture of what's happening in the back of Red Hall, but the second Toxic Babe appears to have missed, and now an EMP coming out for that Evil Eye in the top right of the monitors. Nobody going to be able to see that from the hatch, and you see the Candelas coming out. Everyone's blind. The C4 gets ripped, but vaulting over Dan with another one. BC will fall. Dan gets down to the process. Joystick tacking on. Nyx down. Dan finally cleaned up by Jarvis, but the hatch control about to be eliminated. Jarvis has dropped down. It's just Mint alive now in a 1v4, spraying wildly in the back of Red Hall. But it's all Empire, all day, all night, when we go to the last round of regulation.
What a round by Empire. Again, cool, calm, and collected. That's what they're known for. They'll keep doing it over and over and over again until it works. Works out that time around. Did not have good utility management by the offense. They weren't keeping track. They knew that Valkyrie was there. They've played her every single time in that hallway. Didn't respect it. Get blown up by the Nitro Cell. Opens up the door for Empire, and they're going to walk in gladly.
So, like I said, last round of regulation. Will Empire also be able to put 2 in a row together, or will it be DarkZero continuing the pattern of us going trading rounds back and forth and back and forth? You have a little bit to wait to find out. Heading into the last round, looks like it's going to be a CEO defense again from Empire, and I imagine there's going to be a little bit of intel directed towards the front of CEO. Hopefully by the desk, maybe by the wall.
Somewhere.
Something
vision.
to have visibility on a potential plant coming out inside the first half of the round in a 5v5.
Please, for Russia's sake. I mean, come on. You got to put something there to watch. Guys did not have much vision inside of it last time. And if they did, definitely didn't work out for them. So, especially they have to respect when they get a wall open. I was very surprised by that. I mean, they had everything set up to where smoke could throw Toxic Babes over and prevent them from getting inside. But they didn't do anything with it. So we'll see if they try and switch it up this time around. I'm going to assume that Joystick's probably going to be a lot more aggressive on his flank, because last time, I know that you guys obviously couldn't see it, but we can because we have the top-down view. Thank you guys so much for that once again. It is amazing to cast with. But he was actually rotating all the way downstairs, and he'd been doing it for about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Very slow rotation, which ended up punishing them, where he could have rotated a little bit quicker and possibly would have been able to get a frag that would have opened the door for Empire once again.
So the big difference as well is that with Echo being banned out, we've seen a significant lack of IQ. And by significant, I mean she hasn't been played once. With that, there used to be a lot of faith in EMPs being brought out to take care of basically everything in the entire objective when it comes to electronics. Nowadays, the Valkyrie cameras, another operator that's been brought predominantly on the defensive side for most sites on this map so far. And speaking of the Valkyrie, Dan will collect a kill under the Thermite of Hot and Cold. There goes your Hard Breacher. Big aggressive play inside of stock, and he's going to remain prone under the windows. The next man up will be BC. Throws out an Evil Eye at him just for good measure to launch it at him. But now the battle between Dan and BC will rest at the base of these windows. A drone shot out from Dan from inside of stock. He's still inside the windows, but I don't think BC's aware of this. The asphyxiating bolt will push him out, and Mint will collect a kill all the way up from the rooftops, the skylight. So they're able to trade it out, but they've lost one of the most valuable pieces of utility on their side, their Hard Breacher.
Again, that is the biggest thing about Empire. They only do minor adjustments. It's the exact same setup. There's like, hey, let's put somebody inside of stock. Let's get aggressive. Let's try and get that initial frag. And guess what they found? They found a Thermite. The most important operator for this take right now of DarkZero is off the table.
I like this alteration, though, from DarkZero, immediately identifying that they are boned if they want to go in through top square. They have to rotate for a front lobby take now on the attack, and that's exactly what they're doing. Everybody's sending over towards the north side of the building, try and work their way up these spiral stairs. Most likely try and control south stairs as well to try and two-prong this push in towards the elevator. You don't want to be walking up into this kill box that will be the top of these spiral stairs, walking into your slaughter.
That's a good thing by Empire here, is they are going to respect the front lobby take. You do not want to show face at all in that front lobby. So many windows to try and worry about angle-wise. Mint's actually going to catch a bolt in the shoulder, but it's not going to be enough. But I'll tell you what will be enough. BC on the side of their joystick with a refrag, though, as he's hopped completely outside. Mint will find him. That's going to open it up for DarkZero. It's Shepard. It's Karzeka, as Karzeka will find Nyx. It's a 2v2. There's only 30 seconds. Jarvis with the diffuser.
You got Mint tearing up the spiral stairs as well. Swapping over to the smoke bolts now to cut off visibility in through, and Karzeka was almost able to see. He's just spraying for everything he's worth with that Alda. Now they both rotate into the janitor closet. 20 seconds left, they peel back into the back of A. A plant will most likely come out from B, but it looks like DarkZero aiming for frags. Jarvis needs to push in with the diffuser, but they're running out of time. 10 seconds tick down as they try to push in. Mint taking a lot of damage, but unable to collect the kill is Shepard. More shots raining in from the back of the bomb chassis. Karzeka with one. Mint on the trade, vaulting through into the janitor closet in the 1v1 in the dying seconds. But no, the defenders will win out on time, and we will head to overtime.
Karzeka doesn't need a scope. He doesn't need right-click on his mouse. Just click left, claims the kill. We're going to overtime. It's round 13, and what a first map.
Back and forth we go. It was the first team to set the pace of 2 rounds in a row was DarkZero, and then Empire matched back with 2 of their own. Aggressive play from Dan inside of stock here forced the rotation for DarkZero over towards the front lobby windows, and everyone in Empire were ready and waiting for this rotation. So good adaptation across the board for Empire. Got scary there for a minute on this joystick vault out after he was traded off, but they're able to hold out inside of the objective. Having a lot of faith in your anchors there is Joystick, as he probably could have just laid in wait inside of that banana hallway and had the same effect, and possibly even more with that 416 being a third angle with a very strong weapon at long range to contend with. Nonetheless, the trade works out, the vault works. It all comes up Empire in the end, so we go to the overtime, and this will send DarkZero to the defense in the first round.
It's going to be the 5th time that they've played lockers. The 5th time. They've only won it twice. First time was when they went with the roam game. Second time was when they went with the roam game. This time, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to put hot and cold upstairs, but Nyx not going to be on the vigil like he was the first time around.
Oof. BC whiffing that Valkyrie camera, but it's in a spot where he's able to retrieve it. So he'll try again, make it up into those west lobby windowsills, I guess is the easiest way to put it. But look at the manpower up top right now. Is there a single member of DarkZero on the objective? Looks like the closest man was going to be Mint as he ripped back down the server stairs, and looks like you're going to have a one-on-site setup here for DarkZero. Not the end of the world, as it looks like BC has also rotated back down. So we leave again with 3 roamers, hot and cold, playing this reverse deployable shield by the elevator. Nyx again swapping over to a Legion this time instead of the Vigil, but oh, that Legion mine didn't deploy properly, and that is very unfortunate.
Gonna know exactly where that one is, which is not too good, but it appears that Empire's gonna go with the exact same thing over again. We're gonna go lobby first, we're gonna see if we can get an initial frag, and then work our way down. Going to start everybody else on square. Focus on blue stairs and the bottom hatch. Again, it's like watching a mirror movie, except, you know, it's 6-6 now and not 0-0 or 1-1. So
and this is what we talk about when we talk about Empire not making alterations to the strategy. Nyx has won that engagement every time he's roamed inside of Tellers and Archives. He's won that out consistently, back to back. And yet they still try and challenge it. Hot and cold inside of the elevator should be the focal point for Team Empire. They can get upstairs, they can drop open that hatch with pressure from outside repelled on the windows. All they have to do is blow open the loan office wall with Scyther, but instead he's going upstairs again to try and clear out these hatches. Open area is not your focal point. Nonetheless, Hot and cold will fall to Dan. So the strategy still works at the end of the day for Empire, just taken the same way.
So smart adjustment here for Empire. Shepard's going to go and blow the loan office open so he can't play elevator hallway safely. Hot and cold's life will go down. Nyx will follow suit as things are looking to go in the favor of Empire here, at least for right now. Still plenty of time left on the clock, but you guys are going to hear the initial Toxic Babe go off in the distance. That's going to be Mint on blue stairs.
Yeah, he's smoking off for any visibility and also just trying to stall the process. Drones will be sent immediately down where it does. That's a shotgun point blank range that will do all the damage necessary. An EMP comes out, but Mint already using 2 of his 3 toxic smoke canisters in the process. There goes the third one. He did get shot before detonating. This is trouble territory now for Mint as he's laying prone. The shotgun, it's a very predictable angle, and the flashbangs come in to push him down further to eliminate the range advantage from the shotgun. That's exactly what will happen. Dan hit by the shotgun, but only on 5 HP. Now Scyther will collect onto Jarvis, so it's just BC in a 1v5. Pressure coming from the garage from Joystick, and he'll wrap it all up. It's a clean sweep for Empire on the round, and they'll push it to match point after being on the brink just 3 rounds ago.
3 rounds in a row. They're daisy chaining them now. We'll see if DarkZero can find a way to stop them. As of right now, though, seems like this train's starting to be unstoppable. We've seen this kind of Empire before. Again, this was when we had Shockwave, not Dan, but seems like Dan's along for the ride. He's not really even caboosing anymore. He's really starting to open the door. I feel like he's finally finding his groove, especially with that frag inside of stock.
So now for DarkZero, they've already used their TAC timeout, so they don't have an ability to stop the clock now, and it's going to continue to strike towards midnight on their hopes of winning map number 1. They're going to have to regroup, and they're going to have to regroup quickly. They have 10 seconds left in op pick phase and reveal, and they're going to have to jump right into it. They're going to be on the attack. Mint is going to 6-pick off of the blitz onto the Capitao, so we're going back to the norm for DarkZero when attacking. They're anticipating it's going to be a basement defense, and it turns out they'll be right.
Welcome to Bank, everyone. This is the 9th time we're going to see this site today, and guess what? It's lockers, once again. The best site on this map statistics-wise, so we'll see if Empire will be able to do what DZ could not the last round and win out lockers. Again, it appeared that DZ, they thought they had the formula. They thought the roam game was working for them. It worked every single time, all except for once. That was that last round. So we'll see if Empire can make any slight adjustment, possibly get more aggressive on roam here, and I think that we're going to see possibly a run out, maybe? I thought I saw Scyther prep the electric box door, but it's not going to be a run out just yet. I think he looked at it, was like, maybe, no, yes, do I want to do this on the last round? We're going to try and play it safe.
Yeah, and Empire never a team to try and shy away from aggressive stances like that, but like you said, a lot on the line right here. It's map number 1 in a best of 3, and it's come down to the wire yet again. Incredibly tense matches. This is our 3rd map of our first day here in Milan, and every single one has required overtime to this point.
It's going to be a long night of some fantastic Siege. I hope you guys are strapped in. Get your popcorn, get your Coke, do whatever you need to do, because we're strapped in.
So joining out the main lobby now will be DarkZero. They try to push from multiple angles once again. Mint on a bit of a solo mission currently. He's trying to assess the situation for any potential roamers, but Empire staying true to form. Not altering from the plan, not deviating from the path that they've been set on for the majority of this game while defending downstairs. They're not going to send Joystick out. Scyther and Dan will both peel out a server back in through the site as the hatch gets blown open. Beautiful timing there and coordination from Team Empire, but you've surrendered server only a minute into the round. You haven't picked up a kill. The only good thing is you haven't utilized any utility as well. Top control will now be established here for DarkZero as they try to push in and clamp down on these anchors that are pressed up inside a Red Hall.
Oh, very sneaky placement with that Evil Eye. It's going to be the bottom of blue stairs. They're going to have BC rotate over and get rid of it. But that is still going to be one of those thermite charges, so they can't get both sides open anymore. They have to choose one, and they choose one quickly. Going to choose the front default wall. They are going to be able to tuck in behind that wall and try and get the diffuser down, but they're going to see the secondary Evil Eye inside of sight, and another pretty traditional spot up here on the TV area.
So Shepard playing this reverse angle all the way back from Garage will be a pressure point that DarkZero have to eliminate. You've also got Joystick now preoccupied with the vault hatch that was opened up, a Nitro Cell being prepped but not being sent out yet. You've got two of them stacked in Dan and Scyther rearing and ready to go. The ADSs have been burned, but BC taking a lot of damage on this prone angle and not dealing a single blow to Dan. He's ready and waiting to launch out this Nitro Cell and stop DarkZero in his tracks. He's going to go for a vault over onto the desk, comes peeling out, but Hot and Cold will shut him down.
Hot and Cold trying to keep things alive here for DZ as he will start to put the diffuser down. We're going to have a Nitro Cell, but no, the entire Red Hall is on fire. Scyther's going to try and get aggressive through it, but that's going to be the plant down. Pre-Fire's not going to match anything. Joystick on roam, though, will finally claim a life. It's going to be Nyx, which means he can rotate all the way over to blue stairs. Trying to find as many lives as possible inside of open area. He's being very, very smart and meticulous about the way that he goes on this flank. It's all or nothing right now. Mint will claim yet another life. Karzeka goes down, BC goes down, Joystick has to do something. It's all left up to Shepard in sight. Joystick sees one, but Shepard's gonna be down. It's all on Joystick. We've seen this man do some absolutely insane things before, but it's not gonna happen. We're going max round, map 1.
Going the distance. Yet again, have we set a tone yet? Are we becoming predictable yet?
Oh wait, you're
games?
Flynn. That's why. Okay, I remember now. Why did they have me cast with you again? I'm gonna have to cast every map like this. Oh man.
That's how she goes, man. Wanna be along for the ride? It's a fun one.
Hey, but it's amazing. So much fun because you get stuff like this. What a beautiful round by DarkZero.
Well, Mint right now leading the charge. 15 kills for DarkZero, leading the entire lobby. You've got 3 10s on the side of Empire and Joystick. Karzeka and Dan. So Dan was near the bottom of the leaderboard heading into the split. He's now rocketed towards the top, as was Nyx on the bottom of the leaderboard for his own team. That huge pivotal round with the 3K definitely stepping him up. He's been a little silent the last couple rounds. We'll see if he can bounce back here. It's match point. It's map point. We're going to the defense, and we're going to CEO for DarkZero.
And you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, Dan has only been with this team for a month, and they are going toe-to-toe with the #2 seed out of NA. And DarkZero has never looked this good. Never looked this good. This is the best DarkZero I have ever seen. And with a guy that's been on your team for a month, they're making it happen. That's massive.
Well, hopefully DarkZero as well can have visibility in towards the objective and not allow a plant to come down in a 5v5 at the midway point of a round.
This is the part where you don't want to have a blunder. You want to have vision on the desk.
Well, we talk about LAN experience, we talk about experience at the biggest level. And for Hot and Cold, for Mint, and for BC, they have played LANs at the highest level. Jarvis has also participated in a LAN in Season 3. He played on the team that was back then known as Most Wanted, which is now known as Rogue. He was just a stand-in for the rest of that season for that team. But you've got Team Empire. Everyone except for Dan on that roster have played multiple LANs over and over and over again, and many games on those LANs and gone for huge runs on those LAN events as a team. The history and the camaraderie and the experience for Team Empire in a round like this, I don't imagine we're going to see them shake. The focus is on DarkZero. The pressure is on DarkZero being the underdog, coming in and having the least amount of LAN experience. This is going to be a pivotal round for their entire future.
This is what all that prep was for. This is it right here. This is first map. You can start things off right. And once again, this is actually DarkZero's map pick. They picked Bank. In the secondary map, Oregon, which is one of their most favorable maps. If they get this here, they are set up to beat Empire in the quarterfinals.
It would look good, and there goes one Valkyrie camera, but you still have the Evil Eye being placed. And Dan has utilized one of his EMPs so far. He still has 2 remaining. Also rocking breaching charges, should he need to, I guess, blow open anything in the soft destruction department. But here comes the thermite charge from Shepard. Doesn't look like the tops of the walls have been blown open, so no possible impact shrinking coming out from DarkZero. And that wall will get opened up. We talk about free real estate. Empire taking advantage.
DarkZero is playing so far back into sight. They're in front office and they have 3 inside of the meeting room. It's Mint, BC, and Jarvis, or excuse me, Nyx, as he's actually going to go on rotate down through elevator hallway right now. On the other end of your guys' screen, as you will see him down in open area. This could come up huge and make the round for DarkZero. That Nitro Cell could come up so clutch.
Yeah, they still have the visibility and pings coming out. And the Evil Eye actually going to do some work. Zapping joystick on this north rappel. He's wary of his front lobby rotate, but nobody from DarkZero pushing down those spiral stairs. The first Toxic Babe will come out. Sounds like another secondary explosion has gone off. It was Nyx utilizing his Nitro Cell, and he missed it. A whiffed call from the side of DarkZero, so there goes your possibility to deny from the bottom. Now you got to worry about the flank backup from Nyx. Time evaporating in the hands of Team Empires. They send out the smokes, and they got to go in for a plant execute.
Shepard's going to abandon ship, though, as he was going to put the diffuser down there. More of those Toxic Babes raining out. Shepard just missing smoke as he crosses, but Karzeka will find hot and cold. He's getting aggressive. Is he going to be able to find Nyx? I don't believe so, actually. It's going to be Jarvis. Everything going down for DarkZero. They have 2 left alive. They have to try and fight out of a hole. Nyx will get it, though. 2v3 diffusers down. Going to have to worry about the windows. This is all falling apart in the hands of DarkZero. BC, Nyx going to have to come up huge here, but everyone's on the rappel. Might have to have somebody hop outside in order to try and claim victory here. Nyx rotating back into sight, all of the angles being held down by Empire. Diffuser reaching that halfway point. BC walking freely into CEO, and he might just try and stick it. It appears he is. They're going to try and hold on plant. He's going to kill him, though. BC's down. Shepard's going to take Nyx, and that's Empire for map number 1.
Down to the wire once again. The very narrow moments. It's an 8-7 to start off our best-of-3 series in back-to-back quarterfinals. Team Empire, the Russian Machine, the grand finalists of the Six Invitational 2019. They start things off, narrowly escaping death as they were pushed to the brink of elimination on map number 1. 6-4 was the scoreline for DarkZero. They were unable to close it out. And they go to overtime, and they have to battle back, but in the end, they still fall just an inch short. So that is Empire taking the first map 1-0. Like we talked about, the map bans heavily favoring DarkZero here in terms of history and record on the map. Consulate, one of the strongest maps for Team Empire, banned out. Empire had the possibility to pick it early on, and they decided not to. Ballsy choice here as well, as this was DarkZero's map. It was 8-7. This was supposed to go the way of DarkZero. This is statistically one of Empire's worst maps in the last 6 months, and yet DarkZero still come away with the victory.
I mean, we've seen it before, and we might see it again. We've seen teams have terrible maps. They don't play it for a little while. They pick it back up at a LAN, and it turns out being their best map. So that might happen here for Empire, but I think the biggest thing to point out is that the old guard, Joystick, 11 kills. The new guard, Dan, 11 kills. 22 between those two. That is insanity.
It was a long map. Mint as well leading the charge for his team on DarkZero in terms of kills. It was a beautiful map that kept going back and forth. We talked about how close it was at every single turn. There were only 2 instances of teams winning back-to-back rounds. It was DarkZero to push it to 6-4, and then Empire to draw it back up. They actually won 3 in a row. Go 4, go 5, go 6 in the first round of overtime. So for Empire, good resiliency there. Their back's against the wall, and honestly, DarkZero had a beautiful performance on that map. It was Empire again in these clutch moments, in these clutch scenarios. They've been here before, they'll do it again. DarkZero is the underdog both in terms of standing and in terms of preparation and LAN experience. This is gonna be a tough one to battle back from. The good news is Oregon, statistically their best map in the last 6 months, is coming up next.
Yeah, definitely a soft spot for them. They're going to feel at home. That's the biggest thing. You know, Bank, relatively new for them. We haven't seen them play Bank too often, especially comparative to Oregon. So they're going to have that comfortability factor. We'll see if it really bears any fruit. I mean, especially coming in with, Empire on that map right there. I thought it was going to just be the DZ train, especially how it started, but that was not the case.
No, and it looked like DarkZero were within inches, honestly, of claiming that map. And you're going to have to turn ahead towards the next 2 maps to really regain their focus. They got a little bit of a break. And in that break, we're going to send it back to the analyst desk. Kassan and the boys, take it away.
An absolute monster of a match, and that's still map number 1 again. It feels like we're going to repeat ourselves for the rest of the evening here, gentlemen. Empire versus DarkZero, we expected it to be very, very close, especially on map number 1, one that historically DarkZero are extremely comfortable on. And there you go. I think it proves itself. But Empire at the end prevailed. They chained the rounds in a way that really broke DarkZero at the end.
I mean, the big problem going into all this is that DC gets away with a 5v5 plant. That's a massive mistake from Empire, and then Empire just comes straight back. They do the same thing. They just out-frag you, move through, like the frag and thermite from Dan.
Yes.
Up in office. Man. Like, it's got to be devastating losing a thermite that early on a round that you know if you could get your thermite in, you're probably winning that attack round. And that would have changed the whole game.
And if you talk a lot to teams, they'll talk commonly about the way that they structure their in-game leadership. Often there's a macro who calls overall the push, and then micro who calls specific plays. Yep. And what we always say about Empire is they never really change anything. And to me, my interpretation of that, especially after that match, is that they never change anything in the macro. It all looks the same from a big picture perspective. But when it comes to these really tight-knit individual plays, such as that Valkyrie play that got the thermite, that was a game-winning play. That was a map-winning play or round-winning play. That's the kind of thing that makes the difference overall in Empire. And it was just something micro. Could have come from the player, could have come from one of the other callers on the team. And I think that's something that we really have to credit Empire for, because we say that they don't change anything, but in the end, they do make minor adaptations and individual plays that really crack the difference.
Yeah, and as they say, the devil's in the details. And in this case, there are many, many, many details to look at. I mean, look at how influential Capitao was on the entire match. We talked about it in Game 1. We talked about it even in the pre-show. But there, you saw a perfect description of why that buff has changed much. It's not just because of the damage. Damage on its own is not the big thing. Is that huge area of denial, it really doesn't allow you to move so much. And this is why we saw this 3-3 at the half at both sides. And the defense kind of struggling, even downstairs in the basement. That Pulse that was in the back, the Valkyrie that was prepping C4s, if you're playing the super turtle defensive style, Capitao is going to be able to deal with you pretty effectively.
I mean, we see that every single basement defense I'm playing. Pulses and Volt, you either EMP him and hope that they don't hit that C4, or block it in some sort of way. We've seen a few Monties that are trying to block the C4, but it's so unreliable to do it that way. Capitao, you can manage to molly off the red hallway, and then it really blocks the C4s, but you can still throw smokes from the other side.
That's the other thing I want to touch on, because something we saw from DarkZero, we saw a variety of, I would say, different unusual holds on that downstairs. We saw the Maestro activity inside of the elevator hallway. And
which is unusual.
Very, very much
in Garage.
So. Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of also free roaming. But one of those things that we saw DarkZero attempt was putting their smoke in blue in the service stairs. The idea there is that, you want to delay as much time as possible. But, of course, in order to put your smoke there, you're sacrificing him from exactly where you were saying, in that position deep inside of lockers where you can lob a smoke over onto that plant spot and delay a huge amount of time. And that's one of the counters to this Capitao strat that denies the red hallway. So I think that DarkZero have some very good ideas, but when it comes down to it, they don't always have the right ideas in the right situations. And I think it's about matching those up. That's something that Empire is certainly doing a little bit better.
Yeah, and that server defense, you're holding the staircase, but once the skylight patch is open, that's where you just book it and get out of there. We have some stats to show you about our next map. So let's see how this favors, or if it favors one team or another. We have it in a bit of a pop-up. So of course we're going to go to Oregon. Never banned by Team Empire, 50% win rate. DarkZero with 3 bans, 75% win rate on it, so not too shabby.
Yeah, and again, this comes from local regions primarily.
Yes.
A lot of this, so it's
this is throughout the season.
Yeah. I mean, you're comparing 2 separate leagues.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to just make an overall statement about, how much this really reflects, obviously on paper here, it looks like DarkZero is better at the map because they have a higher percentage win rate.
Yeah, but that doesn't
they're
tell the
playing
whole
against different
story.
competition, so it's slightly different, but it still can tell us a little bit about how much they will like to play there.
Here's the thing. Tower defense for DarkZero has been a pretty big deal. They played it multiple times. Not always working, however. So
Well, honestly, I think DarkZero is one of the few teams that we've seen actually do something innovative on Oregon. Normally
It's hard to do that, isn't it?
Vitality is like the only other team except for, like, was it? There's Team Vitality and DarkZero.
Yeah, you got to go all the way back to 6.
Yeah. Well,
The thing that we've seen DarkZero do is their basement pushes with certain smoke setups that we haven't seen other people do.
Yep.
Mint on the shield. It's a different and more structured way of playing that. Maybe coming from Bank, and they know that they can out-execute on Empire if they get their setup right. Maybe they're going to be a bit more comfortable in Oregon. It's a smaller map. They don't have to worry about as much space. But it's a hard one losing the 3 rounds in a row to Empire.
My big concern about Oregon, though, is yes, DarkZero, they have these very good strategies they bring to the table. They're also good with some adaptations as well. And you mentioned Tower before. That's pretty iconic for DarkZero. They love playing the unusual objective and bringing out some kind of pocket strategy. But at the same time, when we saw that highlight reel at the very start of the day where it was the top 5 plays of the season, one of them was Joystick playing Capitao on a tower attack, and he aced. And the way that, his team was down. He was in a very terrible position. He didn't have control of T3, the top level of tower, but he used his Capitao utility, the smokes and the firebolts, to get himself inside, and then he just, held true with that M249 and got an ace and denied that kind of area. And that's something that just makes me a little bit worried for DarkZero.
okay, final point, gentlemen. Operator bans. They've been pretty important in our first matchup. Monty, Mira with Jackal, or the Jackal, and the Echo banned out. Anything specific for Oregon after watching that very first map?
Capitao.
If I was Empire, I'd just ban Blitz. I wouldn't want to deal with that. It's an easy thing to take away from DC very quickly.
Defense, Maestro, Echo, Mira.
I think that it's a bit same. You have a little bit of differences between the regions. We know Empire comes from a region where they're less likely to be familiar playing Mira, but the big thing for me is DarkZero should ban Capitao. That's my 2 cents.
All right, well, with that said, we are ready to head into game. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 2, Oregon for DarkZero versus Team Empire.
Thank you very much, Gassan. Thank you for the intro, and thank you, boys, for affording us 5 minutes of a little bit of a breather. It's a bit of a breather for the players as well. So we get ready to hop underway. It's map number 2. Empire took the first map on Bank. 8-7. We had to go the absolute distance, as is tradition. But we head to Oregon now. Map number 2. DarkZero starting on the attack this time around as opposed to starting on the defense. And Team Empire, obviously the vice versa. And hey, you nailed it. You nailed it, Alex.
Look at you,
You can't even hear me, Alex. I'm yelling. Okay, whatever. You got the blitz, man. Good job. Not a hard one to guess. A Nomad as well in stark contrast coming out from DarkZero as well. You want to be able to roam, especially if you're DarkZero. You play this map very aggressive. You like your maneuverability on the defensive side. Nomad obviously impeding on that progress. Echo banned out by DarkZero. Again, not a big shock. And I imagine this is going to be a Mira. It's an EU team. It's Empire. They don't like Mira. Nailed it. All right.
Look at you.
We're clairvoyant. It's okay.
Look at you, yeah. Especially with that Nomad ban coming out, as you said, it's going to allow you to have the roam presence that you want. Those air jabs so good on this map because there's only a very few amount of paths that you can possibly take, especially when playing downstairs. Where am I going to flank from? Oh, meeting. Okay, cool. We just put an air jab there, and that's about it. Wraps it all up. So this is going to be map 2. This is going to be Oregon. Again, if you guys are just tuning in with us, Empire took Bank 8-7 against DarkZero in an absolute barn burner. So we'll see if it's going to continue on that same path of the teeter-totter, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on these rounds.
We'll see if I put on a purple tie and a purple pocket square and voted for DarkZero and predicted that they will win. See if I did all that for nothing. Or if maybe the support all the way from the caster's booth will help. They came within 1 round of taking the win on Bank. But now they'll head to Oregon. It's a different scene, it's a different environment, it's a whole different playground, and a sandbox of toys await the hands of DarkZero to try and play with, and that's where Nyx will start things off again on the Ashe, and this is where he predominantly plays Ashe. There's not a lot of deviation. On Bank, we saw a little bit of alteration for Nyx on his rolls, swapping up some operators, mixing it around, heading into the handbag of toys, but on Oregon, he's pretty hard set. It's Ashe, it's G36, and he's gonna have some fun.
We definitely saw him having some fun the last time. A 4K as he took over the entire top floor of Bank.
Yes.
Absolute insane clip there for Nyx. We'll see if he can do it again. I'm going to guess he's not going to wipe out the entire top floor of Oregon, because that would literally be everyone, but he might. I mean, it is Nyx at the end of the day. He does have that skill, and I'm expecting this to be just an absolutely insane round.
Well, you hear the crowd roaring. It's hard to get a beat on where the crowd is landing as far as their favoritism. I don't know where their fan favorite vote really lies. We heard it very clearly in the Norengo Fnatic game. Norengo, the fan favorite, and how could they not be? But after they've been eliminated in this game between DarkZero and Empire, it's really hard to tell. I think the crowd is a little favorited towards DarkZero, which is interesting again. It's European soil. It's a North American team against a European team. And yet still it's Empire drawing the ire of the crowd, at least from what we've been able to tell.
Big tower take here for DarkZero. I'm sure you guys saw the sheer amount of holes that were made in the floor of the kids' dorms area for Empire, establishing so many angles downstairs, and you have to be worried about every single one of them, because you don't know which one they're going to be possibly playing. Don't want to get punished by that. So we are going to flash that off there for you and show a little face. Hot and Cold, though, going to burn an ADS up in kids' dorms, and he's ready for the run out. He knows that Team Empire loves to be aggressive. Joystick's actually just going to scathe away. No bullets taking any damage from him.
He's going to retreat back in towards Kitchen to play these holes, and now heading back out towards Dining as he might try and pressure once again towards BC and Hot and Cold. But I imagine DarkZero are going to be well waiting for this, as it seems to be Mint perched out on top of these rooftops, looking in towards that Dining door. Nick's trying to reacquire his drone. He's worried about a tower push there. Jarvis should have that locked off, although Jarvis is hopping on a drone right now, so just wary of any contingency plans, and it looks like Joystick has gone all the way down into the Showers hallway by Small Tower. We're running out of time here for this DarkZero attack, as there's just about a minute remaining, and this window repel is not going to work if they don't clear out Kitchen.
Yeah, Shepard has very easy access to those windows. You know who else has easy access, though? It's Joystick. It's two bodies falling off Repel. Spider-Man not going to work out for him. Scyther will go take a frag, as well as Hot and Cold will go down, and this is not looking good for DarkZero off rip.
There goes Karzak, at least traded out by Nyx, but he's taking a lot of damage in the engagement as well. So now a 2v4 to work out for Jarvis and Nyx will fall as well. Joystick with 3 on the round now, and it's all Jarvis alone in a 1v4, staring down the barrel of a shotgun as he's waiting to jump in through the big window. He's also got pressure. Oh, a beautiful shot there. Almost lands a second one, but narrowly evades. The Nitro Cell comes soaring at his head, breaking in through the bottom right window. It's a 4K for Joystick. The Russian machine on fire to start things off as DarkZero look completely lost.
And Empire, again, loves this aggressive playstyle, and Oregon is a catalyst for that. You can hop out of so many windows and get long lights of sight, or even punish them off of Repel, as we're going to see that from Joystick. They had him the first time that he ran out. A couple of scuff shots from both ends. Nobody makes any contact, but they did not respect that he could do it again. It's Joystick. He's going to do it again and again and again until it works. That time, worked the second time around. It was free as free could get.
I mean, that play right there is what I'm talking about. What's DarkZero thinking? What's Houghton thinking just vaulting into the big window with Diffuser solo? There's no pressure. DarkZero never even remotely attempt to clear out Dining or Kitchen on the bottom push. They don't have meeting control. They don't push through tower into Attic to lock down that flank either. They simply banked on repelling on kids' windows. You gotta have more clearance than that, because those kill holes down below, you're not winning that fight on repel. You just aren't. That angle is too tough to win as an attacker looking down those windows, because your angle to look down, your ability to flick down is not 180 degrees. It gets locked. You can't shoot clear down into those floorboards, especially if they play close to the wall. So I'm at a loss for words as what DarkZero was thinking on that round.
Yeah, 3 people on Repel, and I mean, that's, like we said earlier, is free real estate for Joystick. He's just able to walk out a door and claim a couple kills. They didn't even have a Claymore set up, which is another very surprising thing. Usually you put a Claymore up on the trash cans right there, so if he runs out, he gets immediately blown up, but they didn't even have that down. He was just able to walk out and claim a few bodies for his own liking, and that's going to grant them the first round. Now, big thing here is that DarkZero do not have access to Blitz, which is something that they really, really enjoy using. And actually, very famous clip by Mint is on this map with Blitz. So
that was from the beginning of this season up against Rise Nation. That was fun. That was a fun time. That was a fun clip. You got a hard meeting hold coming out right now for Team Empire. Plenty of reinforcements. You got the Electro Claws from a Kaid, another operator we have not seen much of. We've seen an Elo once, and Karzeka will pull this back out, I imagine, with a Scorpion, as I double-checked that. And yeah, he's got a Scorpion. Dan playing the TCSG with an ACOG on top of stage wall, waiting for the push-in from DarkZero from the back tower stairs. And Karzeka, reading this tower take, is now going to pop open the small tower window in towards Big to try and look in towards the top of Big Tower. Aggressive peek, but Nyx almost losing that fight, dangerously close to whiffing every single shot, but will land the finishing blow onto Joystick and escape with 10 HP. Another aggressive peek coming out towards Meeting Split as Dan will crouch up towards the stage wall as well, which has been popped open momentarily by some Hibana X Kairos from Hot and Cold. The drones will spot out Dan as he tries to retreat to the hallway hatch, but this is a bad spot to be in for the Empire members locked inside of Meeting.
Dan has a little bit of fire going on. He can't abandon ship just yet. Mint is actually downstairs waiting for his rotate. They're going to try and put up pressure on Dan, and it's going to work out. Mint with the frag as they're opening up everything right now for DarkZero. Mating control in the hands of DZ, as well as practically everything else. Team Empire has to rotate back downstairs, and they've got the perfect person to break down every castle barricade that was put up by Scyther. It's going to be BC as he's using that Journey's End sledgehammer to pop open literally everything. The Scorpion Evo, though, going to be in the hands of Karzeka this time around. No shotgun, but no life either, as Hot and Cold will have Karzeka meet his maker. It's going to be all left up to Shepard and Scyther. 50 seconds left on the clock, but not too much hope.
Hot and Cold is going to perfectly evade all three of those toxic babes as they went out frantically from the hands of Shepard. The plant going down from Hot and Cold, and Scyther can't push back in through his teammate's smoke. Shepard's able to collect the kill onto Hot, but the plant gets down in the meantime. Shots raining in through this soft wall that was left open by Empire in the defense, putting a lot of faith in those castle barricades that were taken care of quite quickly by DarkZero. Two members of DZ on low HP, but Jarvis on full at the hallway hatch will remove Scyther from play, leaving Shepard now in a 1v4. He's got nothing left to work with other than the SMG-11 and time ticking away against him. Up on top of the boxes, trying to find anyone inside of Red Hall. He's got a drone constantly pestering him. It'll take another one down. There goes Mint, and this drone finally dispatched of from Shepard. He's on 25 HP, laying prone inside of the box. Will be BC, and we equalize once again. We're going to go back and forth all the way home. It's DarkZero now tying things up at 1-1.
You have Jarvis all the way up on hallway hatch. You have Nyx in construction on Ash, running a drone around the feet of Shepard, and he cannot touch it. For a solid 20 seconds, could not get that drone annihilated. And I mean, really, everyone just had to lie in wait. Don't overpeak. Do not try and give him those 1v1 battles. It's a lot of things that to this day, this game is almost 4 years old. To this day, people still mess that up on post plant. Do not peek, especially when you have the information. He's got to defuse the bomb.
That was the thing there as well. It's not so much the drone, it's the intel that it acquires. So DarkZero know constantly with Nyx relaying that info that he's not moving anywhere. He's stuck in that box. He's got nowhere to go. So they know which angles to hold to make sure he can't push out. And the second thing is, it was a constant nuisance. It was just another thing to piss off Shepard in that situation. You're already under the gun. You are under immense pressure in a 1v4. He gets that first kill, and that gives you a little bit of momentum. The last thing you want is this tiny little drone buzzing around your feet, constantly pinging you, constantly spotting you, constantly relaying your location. That's just, it's so demoralizing at that point, especially when you can't hit it, because you feel like you got that first kill, you're on a bit of a roll here. If you can build up some steam, you can do this, and that sucks all the life out of you. So we equalize at a 1-1. We go back now to, apparently, yes, the basement. We go back downstairs. No alterations as dining room and kitchen and tower defense. They're challenges, we'll say that much.
Let's just not talk about it.
They're challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. This Oregon, traditionally speaking, has two very good sites and then two not very good sites. And as Flynn so graciously said, it's going to be Big Tower and it's going to be Kitchen. Of those two, I would say that Tower is the better out of the two because Kitchen is an absolute nightmare. So DZ doing things the same way they did last time, starting Big Tower, going to take it cross. Now, the person I want to point out for this is going to be Dan. Because Dan last time, I feel like he didn't abandon ship when he could have. He could have played out his life, and that slug shotgun is so dangerous in the proper hands. And as we've seen from Dan in the last game, he can definitely be those proper hands. But the bad thing is they kind of put him on an island with that castle barricade set up the last time. They don't have it this time around. Whereas last time, if you would have dropped E-Box, you're just dead. You can't run in sight. They have it castle barricaded off. And obviously, you're not going to stand there for a second and a half and rip the door down. But Dan is actually going to claim a kill. One's going to get downed outside by Joystick. I don't believe that he knows that he got him down just yet. He's actually trying to slink off the roof. It's going to be BC. Hot and Cold's already met his demise.
So there goes your hard breacher of your Hibana.
Oh,
what a beautiful
my.
shot by Dan on the replay. We return to action with Nyx now still holding these T2 windows, worried about Joystick peeking out the attic, and that was a good adaptation again from Joystick this time. Inside of attic to get more elevation, more control inside of meeting, and this is going to force DarkZero to go for a full rotation. As like you mentioned, the castle barricades aren't there anymore, so there's longer angles to be held, and they work both ways as Mint is stalled out now at the red door, and Dan looking down the hatch. They haven't cleared out meeting. This is going to be a nightmare for DarkZero to try and work out of, as Dan with his TCSG is just going to rain hellfire from above onto them.
That shotgun can down anybody or kill anybody with 2 bullets. That's it. You have to touch him twice. Scyther only has to touch Nick once, though, because it's a headshot. Dan will find Mint. Everything's falling apart for the DZ boys as slugs are going to rain down around the feet of BC, but Karzeka will find him. It's all left up to Jarvis on the Thatcher. L85 by his side, but no life left in him. Dan from up tops, again, going to rain hellfire as they're going to claim round number 3.
It's a clean sweep, a 5-0 on the round for Team Empire. The Russian machine never breaking every other round.
Every other round.
Every other round.
They just run out of gas and they refill it. That's it. It doesn't break, it just runs out.
So for DarkZero here, it's been a successful attack to the basement. It's been an unsuccessful attack to the basement. It's also been an unsuccessful attack towards the top floor, which is where we'll return, obviously, as the rotation goes on and on and on, and we spin this carousel. Again, a beautiful shot there by Dan, and the meeting hold this time,
oh my,
much safer. You know, you eliminate hot and cold early with that aggressive peek out through that doorway. That's what Dan was trying to do the first time around. He just missed his shot and got shot from down below by Mint, and I'm wondering where that pressure was. Obviously, like I said, the long angles from inside of the site, those castle barricades didn't provide pure safety for Mint. He had to worry about being shot at from the smoke playing downstairs. Still, you got to be able to run past there and start acquiring that pressure from down below, because that was the opening pick that really set things in motion for you last time around as DarkZero was Mint grabbing that kill onto Dan inside of meeting from the reverse angle downstairs up to the hatch.
I think the biggest thing now, especially with just all the games in general, just as LAN in general, we have that replay system now. It's beautiful. We don't miss a kill anymore. You guys get to see all of those crazy long-angled ACOG shots, crazy flicks, everything. It's fantastic, especially with that last round with Team Empire. So many pixel peaks that just worked out for them.
Yeah, and this round here, the top floor defense once again. Last time, and it's been a heavy tower focus for DarkZero, which isn't out of the norm for them. They typically fall back on tower takes more often than a front take. However, the tower take for them has gotten them tower, but nothing else. They haven't extended out of tower. Even when that round they won attacking to the basement, they never actually held meeting. They pseudo-held it by just killing everyone that tried to retreat out of meeting, but at that point, they didn't even stick a man upstairs on the hatch until the end of the round where Jarvis rotated up after plant was down. So for the majority of these rounds here, DarkZero have been phenomenal at taking tower, big tower, but nothing surrounding it, and that needs to be the extension for DarkZero. You need more map control to lock down and choke out, to suffocate Empire.
Exactly, and the biggest thing is, I mean, big tower is free. Everyone can walk in there. You just open a door and walk in, you have control. Their issue right now is they can't battle for map control. It's punishing them. They had that initial round that they won where they got Dan out early, but the second time around, Dan able to come up massive, gets a couple of frags, able to really lock down Meeting Hall. Made it very, very hard for DarkZero. Now, difference on this side is, are they going to go for the 3-man repel once again? I surely hope not. Nyx, though, going to take down Scyther as he tries to get aggressive. He will meet his end. So they're definitely going to be worried about Joystick now downstairs in kitchen, because it looks like they want to go for this repel game all over again. They could reset Nyx, but it's not going to matter too much. Joystick, oh man, he's trying to find that long distance gunfight with Mint with the hollow sight. Not very favorable towards him, but we've seen crazier things happen in the past.
Oh, Nyx is going to walk right into the crossfires. Where's the call on DarkZero? That Joystick's inside a small tower. I guess anticipating the retreat down the hallway preemptively, and Joystick had yet to leave his perch on those small tower stairs. He's going to return, because why not? There's no one else to try and fight him off of that angle. He can make it up to that top of the small tower window as well, looking in towards big window, the site, and ADS will catch out the frag grenade. So BC, the frag master, will now have one in behind the mattress. Dan dropped to about 5 HP, escapes to safety in behind a reinforcement, but again with these window repels, a Nitro comes soaring out. Joystick with 2, right up against the Claymore. He went for the vault out a small tower, still detected, but it's BC and Jarvis left alone. BC will finally collect the kill into a retreating Joystick, but they've lost so much manpower. They don't have a lot of time left. They need to convert to the site execute now.
Time is against them, and it's something you can never get back. It's the most valuable thing in life, and it's the most valuable thing in Siege. And they don't have very much of it left. 28 seconds. Second frag grenade going to go down for BC, as he is so well known for, but it's not going to do much. Dan, very low health. Karzeka and Shepard still both full. Those toxic babes continuing to reign, but Shepard will finally go down. It's all up to Karzeka and Dan. Jarvis with that frag, but Karzeka's going to get the refrag. Jarvis, it's a 1v1. It's 8 seconds, and Karzeka knows where he is. Jarvis has to win this out, and I don't think he's going to get it. No! Looking the wrong way at the wrong time, and Empire's going to find round number 3.
So once again, Empire, the aggression from Joystick standing above all. And that Nomad ban clearly favoring the maneuverability of the defense. It just wasn't their ban, which is the only difference on that round. So for this time around, we're going to be heading to a tower defense because, of course, we've had back-to-back defensive stands that were successful for Empire on the 2 most favorable sites, so now we got to go somewhere a little wonky. For this one here, it's Joystick, again, the ability to jump into the small tower, and I'm really puzzled. Again, was it an assumption by Nyx that the rotation had come out already from Joystick? He was shooting but wanted to retreat back to dining. Because that call should come out that he's in small tower. There should be more caution coming out from Nyx instead of just sprinting headstrong at the window.
What's the rule with calls? You know what the rule with calls is. It's either 100% or it's 0%. There's no 50-50. You can't go, oh, I still think he's there. It's either you know or you don't. And right there, ended up biting him. So, we'll see if they can make any adjustments. But it's going to be one of our favorite sites. It's going to be Tower. If I could add any more sarcasm to that, I would. But I can't. So, Tower going to be elected for the defense, and Joystick still going to be on Jaeger. So, keep looking for those runouts, because he's going to keep doing them. For you people at home that obviously play this game, and I hope you do, you guys learned a new run out there on Small Tower that you don't see too often. Usually people just allocate towards the kitchen door. You can jump out that window on Small Tower, and you can do the exact same job without getting Claymored more than likely.
That was the most terrifying thing, is that he was standing on a Claymore. So DarkZero, again, anticipating the motion, anticipating the action from Joystick, and yet they still cannot lock him down. The lack of a Nomad at the disposal obviously helping with that. The ban coming out from their own bans. DarkZero, obviously, as indicated by the top of your screen, the team banning out Nomad. So it seems to be biting them a little bit in the back right now. They're attacking towards Tower, and there's a lot of drone focus in towards Showers, and I imagine this is, again, because of the presence of Joystick. His ominence across the map right now is just, it can't be understated right now. He's all the way upstairs inside a generator. He's prepped the window inside a gen to vault for a classroom rotate downstairs. He's got support as well with Karzeka upstairs on the Ella. And this is another thing that we noted pre-game before coming in, is that the Karzeka and Joystick duo has seemingly been forming again. For a long stretch of period there, or a long stretch of time, Karzeka and Joystick duo kind of separated a little bit. They went off and did their own little things on the attack and the defense, but we've seen a culmination of those two coming together again, and that's really where they stand at their best. But Nyx will start things off with fireworks on the G36 and remove Karzeka from kids.
He's been doing so good with that G36C. Again, since the R4C did lose its ACOG, you got to play that G36C to have access. But the other thing is you do get an angled grip, but you're going to need a life to use it. Joystick, once again, when this man finds his groove, he is so very dangerous. I mean, who can try and test up to this? BC is going to be the next one up to bat. They're trying to pinch him, but is it going to work out? They have Mint moving in from the other side, finally claiming his life, but there's so little time left on the clock, especially after that roam clear.
Look at the utility as well. This is a tower attack, guys, and you've used 2 asphyxiating bolts to remove the kids clear. Obviously, you need to clear kids so that they can't shoot you from the windows when you try to rappel up, and Dan on 5 HP, able to escape back up the armory stairs and remove BC. So there goes your flank hold. It's back, turning back around now for DarkZero. They have to stop in their tracks and repeat the same process they just went through with a fraction of the utility they had to start the round.
And Dan's just going to lay down on a mattress upstairs. He's like, you guys got to come get me. I'm not rotating. You have to come find me. Wasting even more time. Rotated all the way through the basement, up main stairs, finds another kill, and this is just not looking good for DarkZero at all. 28 seconds left on the clock, not very much execute utility, and guess what? There's still a smoke on the board.
No asphyxiating bolts. You still have a couple smoke bolts and a flank coming in from Jarvis now in through meeting split, but read beautifully by Scyther. Jarvis still collects the kill, but Dan on a trade will drop Hotton, and that's the man with the diffuser. Recovered now by Mint as he'll pick that up on the Capitao. A flank now from Dan inside of Attic. All it takes is one bullet to land, and Shepard pushing his way down the tower stairs. Pings come out onto one. He almost gets them both, but Jarvis will bring it out. And now Dan, the 5 HP Valkyrie, the man that went for the flank all along, comes back. And it's a beautiful lead now for Team Empire, the Russian machine, 3 rounds away.
I mean, Dan, newest member of Team Empire, and he's showing why they reign true. He's only been with this team, I've said it multiple times, for a month, and this man is already this confident with this roster. That's insanity.
The most troubling portion of that for me is DarkZero and their attacks. They are really starting to fall apart here. The segmentation as well. They continuously push. Whoa, what a shot by Jar.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they continuously push in one by one, and there goes that run out from Dan as well to the satellite window. Again, Jarvis is on one right now, but he needs the rest of the team to show up. Their push right now is so individual right now for DarkZero on their attacks. They're trying to clear one member at a time instead of trying to clamp down with multiple members. Even on that Kids take, Nyx gets that first opening pick onto KarZeka into Kids. That's your moment. You gotta go. But instead of going downstairs and possibly using that remote breaching charge on Ash to blow open the classroom floor, everyone's just pushing down the same hallway. There's a reinforce on the possible rotate. You got to push hallway at that point. Nobody goes highway window because you have to worry about tower. Nobody goes downstairs because Dan's roaming around down there. It's such an isolated take from DarkZero, always being pushed down one singular corridor. If you're trying to win 1v1s against Joystick, you're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time, and that's exactly what they've been trying to do. He's 8 kills, 4 assists. What does that tell you? That tells you he's having an immense amount of gunfights, and he's winning a lot of them. So, BC and the rest of DarkZero need to try and find an answer for this. Whether it's try and execute onto where he is, or just try and isolate him in general, you have to do a better job. You're giving him the 1v1s, and of all the people that's gonna win their ones, it's gonna be Joystick.
Well, we saw Montaigne banned on Bank. We now see a shield coming out on Oregon, but it's not the shield we all expected, as the Blitz has been banned out in a countermeasure on the side of Team Empire. So Mint will take what's available to him as a full shield Montaigne. Everything else staying the same. BC still on the sledge. We've seen a little bit of Zofia from him as well, but Nyx on the Ash will need to be the leading charge, and this Elemine will drop Mint out of his shield animation and drop him down, making him susceptible to shots towards the feet. KarZeka, again, same spot as always, but Joystick's gonna peel out. He's gonna leave KarZeka alone. Oh, what a shot! The fadeaway by KarZeka, and Nyx will go down. There goes your Ash, and it's another beautiful start for Team Empire.
Well, there's a Kobe with a grenade. I guess we call that Jordan, because oh my God, what a shot from KarZeka. Nyx has been absolutely on fire with this Ash all day, but right now, falling short as he's gonna get absolutely removed. What a shot from KarZeka.
Pure desperation on the fadeaway fall, and yet it still lands beautifully onto the head. Nyx will go down. You've now got to refocus here, as there goes a lot of your pushing power. You've got a lot of utility stacked in the backside for DarkZero that is going to be crucial in a site execute. You don't have a Capitao, you don't have any smokes other than Mints on the shield, and he's again going to be crucial in pushing out the roam clear. So for this attack here for DarkZero, again, you've made it into one portion of the map, but you can't extend anywhere else, and you've lost a man on the roam clear. Meeting control still fully held by Empire with reinforcement. Scyther will take down another one as there goes Jarvis. Pushing in solo now is Mint. I don't think he knows that Scyther's in his corner, trying to bat away the shield, and there goes Mint, going for another one, but Hotton will shut him down. It's a 2v4 now to evade desperation and an absolute massive chasm between the two teams in the scoreboard. It's a 4-1 deficit, and now there goes Hot and Cold to be down. The diffuser lost, BC alone in a 1v4, unless he can finally make it back down to meeting split and revive his fallen teammate upstairs. There goes one. BC takes down Dan, but now the retreat from KarZeka. He's gonna have to pick up Hot and Cold. It's gonna be a 2v3 to round out the round.
And you have two of the most dangerous players on Empire still alive. Joystick and KarZeka are both still up, and KarZeka has that Scorpion. That Scorpion is so dangerous in those close range combatants. He's only got 30 bullets though. He's had so many gunfights this round. He doesn't even have a spare magazine. That's insanity. BC, though, going to be able to get up hot and cold. They have to try and find something, but it's like all on time. Karzeka, is he going to get the second kill? No, Shepard going to be able to claim that. It's Empire, 5-1 at the split, and they're just walking away with it.
Well, to start the day off between Norango and Fnatic, we had a 5-1 split. And then it was responded with another 5-1 split. Granted, it wasn't on Oregon, but nonetheless, it's kind of looking like we're going to need that here from DarkZero to keep this one even remotely interesting, as one more round will put us on match point and series point. Again, the amount of map control for DarkZero is significantly lacking. Their inability to push in through the map until the latter portions of the round, it's dire at this point.
Well, the issue is that Empire starts off with 1 to 2 roamers, and then everyone else just cycles on this vicious cycle of rotation. They go upstairs, they go back down. They go upstairs, they go back down. They go upstairs, and they go back down continuously. And they keep claiming kills every time they do it. Every single time. And the biggest issue with that is that they don't cut off their rotations. They just allow it to continue to happen. It's happened every round. And they finally bring out the Montang. We've barely seen him today. It's too little too late, guys. Too little too late. Why didn't they bring out the Montang initially? They knew that Joystick was going to be an absolute madman on this map, and they allowed him to do it.
Well, if you're a DarkZero fan back home, you're starting to get nervous, as again, you were within an inch of taking map number 1 on bank. Up 6-4 in regulation, and you allow Empire to storm back with 3 consecutive to eventually take it 8-7 into the overtime. Absolute max distance. It doesn't look like we're going to come even remotely close to a max distance or an overtime at all on Oregon, which is map number 2. Should we eventually have DarkZero come back in this match, we will head to Border, map number 3. Again, a map that would that's actually one split down pretty close to the middle between the two teams in terms of favoritism and recent results. DarkZero can't look ahead to that, though. They got to focus on this map single-mindedly, and they're going to be on the defense now. They need a 5-1 split, which is something that rarely ever happens on Oregon. The most common split for the first half on Oregon is 3-3.
Not looking good.
You allowed a tower defense to be successful. You couldn't execute upstairs at all in the attacks. It's been brutal for DarkZero on this first half of Oregon. They're going to have to replicate what Empire just did to them in probably one of the toughest circumstances just to keep this close.
My entire issue right now with DarkZero in general is the fact that you knew that the roam game was going to be heavy. You knew it from the first round. They've done it every single round, as we previously stated. But then you don't bring any utility to get rid of him. You don't bring a Jackal. You don't bring Montang until the last round. What's happening? BC, though, will claim alive. It's going to be Karzeka. No more Sledge, no more grenades. The Firebolts will come out, but he's going to be able to smoke Joystick off. Joystick will have to rotate back over to the other window. But BC will go down to the likes of Joystick's tactical crossbow.
Well, this attic wall is also soft, and it looks like this is Jarvis being droned out inside a small tower. Jarvis was on a camera, and he might try and go for a run out here similar to what Joystick pulled off. You got the Valkyrie camera outside. 2 members searching frantically for that Valkyrie camera and the Valkyrie herself. Jarvis still stationed up inside a small tower, but this attic wall was soft and popped open now by Dan, who's picked up the breaching role. A little bit of a change there as far as role swaps, and peeking with a tiny angle is Hot and Cold. The Aldo remove the head for Scyther, and now there goes your Zofia and your most potent fragger in Season 9 for Team Empire.
If you're an Empire fan, you're going to want to see a rotation downstairs right now. They have to be worried about Mint, but they would also have to be worried about Nyx if he was still alive, but he's not, as Dan will find him, opening the door just a little bit wider here for Team Empire to take this round and go to map and match point. Both smokes coming out, which signals a swing, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Joystick's coming in, full bar, but Mint's going to find him from underneath. As they're trying to find him downstairs, Dan is at least. It's all up to Shepard and Dan here for Empire, as Mint has completely abandoned ship, all except for the bottom of White Stairs, where Dan will finally find him. He's been cooking up with gas this entire game so far.
He coming from Hot and Cold from inside a Kids towards the top of White Stairs. And there goes Dan. You got to recover the diffuser if you're Shepard. 15 seconds left. And Jarvis still in small tower. They have the Valkyrie cameras for the info, but you got to be worried about separation if Hot and Cold should fall on the objective. Pressed right up against the windowsill. Shepard with no time remaining will have to plant it to the overtime. The pre-fire from DarkZero will lock it out. And DarkZero staving off elimination moments longer.
DarkZero looking a lot better on that round. I feel like that the split, which allows you just a little bit more time to talk about things, really cooled them down, cool, calm, and collected going into that round and playing their game instead of letting Empire do what they wanted. BC actually getting very aggressive early is going to grant him an initial kill. I mean, he did die later, but he used up both asphyxiating bolts for Joystick. I mean, Joystick got a kill out of it, but he can't use those other places. He can't try and lock down the doors when he swings. And, I mean, at the end of the day, he ended up dying from downstairs. Again, no respect for the kitchen. We've had that a couple of times so far. Empire not respecting it, and neither was DarkZero. So we'll see if next time they go there, Empire will respect somebody playing downstairs.
So we head into a, appears, yes, it is attack timeout now for DarkZero as they try and regain their bearings here on Oregon. Things have not gone as swimmingly as they did on Bank, as that was a much closer contest, but it's a 5-1 split at the half in favor of the Russian machine team Empire, and now they have to work themselves out of a hole. They've done one round of this gargantuan chasm that stands between them and drawing even. They're currently at a 5-2 deficit, and they'll be heading downstairs in the defense most obviously, as they just want a top 4 defense. Don't have to really worry about site rotation being a little wonky, kind of like it was on Bank, where you had to guess if it would be Teller's Archives or if it would be CEO. In this exact instance, almost everyone rocking the exact same operator as last round. The only difference will be, it appears to be Mint on a Legion instead of a Pulse. And downstairs, this is again going to have to be a scenario in which DarkZero kind of mimic what they were seeing from Empire in that meeting control, having that map control, stalling out what's coming from Empire, because they are quite brazen and they're quite efficient on their attacks.
Empire are going to be switching out for the Dokkaebi. I know you guys can't see that yet, but Dokkaebi going to be allocated towards Team Empire in place of Zofia. Scyther going to be piloting Doke through this map here, but more site execution is exactly what that grants. We have so much utility to try and just keep everyone staved off from stopping this plant. We've got Joystick on the Capital. We've got Scyther on the Dokkaebi. Those phone calls so very dangerous. It's actually going to be ringing hot and cold's phone as well, so won't have control to his evil eyes for at least 11 seconds. Other than that, he can't answer his phone, but we'll have to see if he will do such a thing. Downstairs site allocated for DarkZero once again, and Mint going to be donning the mantle of smoke this time around. No more pulse for him.
So downstairs in the defense, we've also got a lot of investment. What in the hell is going on here? So we got some barbed wire. I think that's the best way to put that. And Scyther sending straight in. It looked like he was going to try and contest this, and Mint is going to be hard held inside of blue, inside of the construction tunnel. We also got Nick supporting from red. A good read so far. If Empire were even remotely considering heading in through a construction rush here to try and put another nail in this coffin that has been assembled so far for Team Empire, awaiting the entrance of DarkZero into their final resting place. But right now it's a double stead hold inside of red and blue just for Mint and Nyx. The drones will come in. There's a lot of utility placed as well. 2 pieces of barbed wire, an ADS. There's a lot of investment in the hold here. It doesn't look like Empire even remotely want to toy with this momentarily, but they are going for a full tower take nonetheless.
I mean, is BC just Professor X? Can he read minds? Because initial setup, everyone spawns Junkyard and they go, oh, everyone's in construction. We don't really know what to do. And they've been stalled out ever since. They have big tower control, but they're still going to push their way into construction. Again, this is how Empire plays this game. Oh, did you try and counter-strat us? Fantastic. We're going to go at it anyways.
Yeah, they're going to push headstrong in, as is their nature. And Scyther looks like he's going to finally try and engage with this. Got the SMG-12 out in hands, as opposed to the CZ-75, which has been the more predominantly picked secondary weapon on a Dokkaebi or a Vigil as of late. You can see an EMP come out as all of our lights go down. Joystick still holding down from the back of the tower stairs here, as BC was applying pressure from meeting, but it looks like BC has torn off to other engagements now, as he's actually made it all the way downstairs into the site, into supply room, challenging the door as well. A Toxic Bay comes out from Mint as well to continue to prolong the engagement between Scyther and Mint. It's a bit of a cold war, as no shots have even been remotely close to exchanging, and yet the utility utilized here is going to continue to suppress Scyther's ability to press in. This is a massive pivot point for DarkZero to continue to hold, and Team Empire, at this point, unable to find a counter.
Gonna need a lot of help, but as they're just continuing to hold down these angles. Mint still fighting for his life inside of construction. Nyx and Harry Potter, and he's going to finally claim a life. Joystick will be the first one to fall, and Scyther's still playing the waiting game as all of these toxic babes have finally been expended, but so have his logic bombs. He's been standing here the entire time. 2 phone calls go out, no deaths happen on the side of DarkZero. Scyther's going to try and get aggressive with that ACOG over here on the MK14. Actually, he's going to establish an angle, just wait for the rotation. Swapping over, might get aggressive, but we see some bodies moving upstairs. Nyx, Mint, both tacking on. It's all left up to Shepard as he's gonna fall. Karzeka, the last one alive. He's standing in meeting with only 16 seconds left. It's not looking too good for him as every single man on DarkZero stands in his path.
The diffuser is lost. He's inside a meeting, toiling above the hallway hatch, and looks like he'll just drop down to his ultimate demise here. BC will cut him down from inside a supply room. DarkZero piece 2 in a row. The deficit has now cut in half.
A long road still to go. And I think the biggest thing to touch on with a 5-3 scoreline is you still only get 1 free mistake. 1 free mistake, that's all you can make. After that, you have to win every single round to come back. If you are a DarkZero fan, you want to see them continue to run on this path, because if they can continue to link these rounds together, you could see them win this 7-5.
It's doable. The most likely outcome will be a reciprocal 5-1 split, and then we'll head to overtime on Oregon again. We're going to a tower defense, as again, we saw top 4 defense successful. We saw bottom 4 defense successful consecutively. You know what that means. We got to go somewhere wonky. We're going to tower on the defense here for Oregon for DarkZero, trying to keep themselves alive. Should they drop to a 6-3 deficit with match point and series point looming over their heads, it could be nearly insurmountable. And we talk about the pressure, we talk about the mental condition, we talk about the preparation and the LAN experience for both of these teams. Clearly the advantage on the side of Empire. So if you get within that stranglehold position, if you're Team Empire, you're not gonna shake. We saw that a little bit on Bank when DarkZero went up 6-4. They were ready to lock it out. They were ready to put a nail in it and take map 1. Be that upset, be that underdog story, the Cinderella story, and yet they faltered. And Empire took advantage. That's not gonna happen if you're Team Empire. You get to that 6-3 mark, count the game done.
I definitely agree with that one, but the entire map more or less hangs in the balance of this round. Can they win a tower defense? Because once again, if they lose this round, it's map and match point for Empire, and Empire is not a team to mess up too often. So if they can win this is going to put DarkZero in a very good spot.
The good news is as well, if DarkZero can come away with this round, they're only down 1 round, and they get to go back to the rotation that is common, which is you go back upstairs and then you head back downstairs. Like you said, there's a possibility that DarkZero could run the table and go for a 6-0 on the defensive half and really storm away with this on a 7-5. Most likely outcome, if DarkZero are able to win this specific round, would be a 6-6 and we head into overtime. So I don't think we're gonna see a 6-0 run on Oregon defense.
No, it would definitely be a sight to be seen, but you can already tell the playstyle difference here for DarkZero and Team Empire on the defense. DarkZero especially just allowing Team Empire to twist in the wind. They don't really want to take the gunfights. They want to play their time, play their utility, and lean heavily on that. Whereas Empire, so heavy on frags. And speaking of frags, Karzeka's going to find one. BC with the trade. Shepard's going to hop in as well. Complete turmoil here on big towers. There's bodies just absolutely everywhere. Trying to claim another. It's going to be Joystick. Hot and cold goes down. And once again, they don't mess up too often.
So you've got fire coming in from the top of the armory stairs, leaving Jarvis alone on the objective. This is a perilous situation as being constantly pinged out, as that's Mint trying to fire in. The man downstairs is Jarvis. Mint will fall. It's a 1v4 before the Valkyrie. Nitrous Hawk comes soaring out and gets shot out of midair, and Joystick will put us on elimination point.
I was just about to talk about how Joystick has not shown up on the second half. He's found 1 kill, but he's going to turn it around on the tower take. Finding 3 frags, raining hell fire from above with that M249. And that is what that gun is so very dangerous with. The reason they built L in the first place was she had a lot of bullets inside of a magazine so she could take multiple gunfights. Guess what an LMG has? A lot of bullets.
Excellent super sleuthing there, Stokes.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I said if it was 6-3, count the game over. I kind of want to take that statement back because I don't want the game to be over, but...
You want me to take your tie? I can take it. It's fine. It's okay.
We go back upstairs. I don't imagine this game is going to end anytime soon, as we have DarkZero now with the favorability of the objectives to defend. They get to defend top floor. They get to go back downstairs. If they win both of those, that would put it to a 6-5. You got to go back to tower, or you got to go to kitchen. Again, that is the problem with Oregon. That's the cycle of Oregon. That's the nature of Oregon.
It's the circle of life.
Empire was able to put up the numbers in surprising fashion, really, at the behest of DarkZero's mistakes. This time around, it doesn't look like Empire are going to make those same mistakes on the off-sites, and no, Jarvis is going to take almost 40 HP worth of damage in prep phase through a shotgun through the floor, making a kill hole.
Oh, BC.
I think I've said it about 1,000,000 times now, but the LAN experience, the preparation, the fact that Empire have been here so many times together as a team versus separated instances for DarkZero, it's clearly a factor. It's a mental factor that you have to take into consideration when scoring this game.
Yeah, guys, obviously you guys can't hear our voices being pumped through this stadium, but there is a lot of people here. This place is massive. Volume is loud, and trust me, Flynn and I actually played a little bit on the stage yesterday. Every single bullet that you fire shakes the entire stage. That is how real it feels. So you have to be thinking exactly how these guys are feeling in this current state, because I can tell you right now, Empire's not shaken. Specifically Dan, that was the big factor coming into this. Can Dan perform on LAN? And he's doing so well so far.
That was the big question mark. That was the roster move heading in, you know. Empire were looking so incredibly dominant in the regular season, going undefeated until week 11. And then as well, why make a change, right? You finish second in the world, if we want to go by the World Championship metric of the Six Invitational, just behind G2, a team that has dominated the scene for years now. And yet, they make a change. So Dan was the question mark, and yet he has definitely been a performer so far in these two maps. Empire looking to close things out. We go for, again, a Kids Windows take here for Team Empire. There's lots of drones come in to try and isolate members of DarkZero, and they've completely evacuated Kids, except for BC, continues to dart back and forth on this rotate behind the reinforcements. Last time around, it was BC getting extremely aggressive, and there he goes again. In behind a dresser will remove joystick from play. A beautiful shot there. Another drone coming out, and this might be BC going for a run. Nah, he just makes it back inside the windows because he knows it's the Capitao taking out a play.
I thought he was gonna hop, but it was so very close. When someone makes a dashing run towards a window, what else can you expect? Frag grenade gonna come out, almost claims BC's life, but it's almost like time's on his side as Nyx will rotate outside, but Dan's gonna knife him. Where'd he come from? Assassin's Creed, Scyther gonna take out Hot and Cold with a headshot. It's 3v3, but still plenty of rounds that DarkZero needs as Jarvis is gonna get shot down, but he's gonna claim the life of Scyther as everything is falling apart on both sides here in round number 10. Math.
It's a 2v3 now for Shepard and Dan to work out. If Diffuser in control of Shepard now, he's up on top of the small tower roof, waiting to peer into the objective. You still got Jarvis out inside a small tower, waiting for the run. BC on low HP as well, pressed up against the Kids' windows. Dan making his way downstairs to clear out any remaining members that would have been inside a kitchen. That would have been Mint, but he's already made the rotation. Swift identification that he needs to head towards the top of Armory Stairs to prevent a vault in through the highway window, where Shepard angles into just now. Still trying to clear out downstairs as Dan, as Shepard angles in through the highway window, but looking the wrong direction. Dan pressing his way up the white stairs through the sea of barbed wire, angles in towards Kids, but cannot find a target. In behind the bomb chassis now is BC. He gets down to a 2v2, 9 seconds left, and another one for Shepard on 5 HP. Rushing through, it's just Jarvis left alive on DarkZero, and at the top of white stairs, Empire, the dying moments, the last second clutch. DarkZero eliminated from Milan.
Oh my God, what else did you expect from this Team Empire roster? It looked like we were going to yet another round on Oregon, but it's not gonna happen. Empire winning Oregon, winning BC, and winning their quarterfinals matchup.
Well, I was the lone man. I was proven the lone man to be wrong. It's Empire returning to the semifinals. Will they be able to make a return to the grand finals in their next premier event, which is obviously the Season 9 finals here? The previous one being the Six Invitational 2019, where they made it to the grand finals against G2. In this game against DarkZero, honestly, the battle back and forth on Bank, that was tremendous. Almost impossible to really describe how narrowly close that moment was at the end of Bank. And the moment where DarkZero almost had that. They almost took map number 1. We head to map number 2, and it doesn't look close. It looks like Empire, obviously an aggressive team, a notorious team for being fluid and for being an aggressive team that will take a fight to you, took the fight to DarkZero, and they did not have a response on their attacking side. On the defensive side, it was a valiant attempt. It was just too big of a chasm to try and overcome for the side of the North American squad. And that's the second seed from North America, still eliminated from play. Sorry, we still have Evil Geniuses, though, the #1 seed from North America, which will be our 4th game today against Immortals.
You do have to give credit where credit is due, though. DZ, no one thought they were going to do this well, except for you. Except for you. That first map, 8-7, went the entire distance, but just could not find it on Oregon. Again, I feel like they just adapted too late. That Montang pick could have helped them out a lot earlier, but taken in the last round, I mean, guys, come on.
Well, that's going to do it for us in game number 2. We're halfway down the day to throw to an interview with Karzeka and Matt on the stage. Have at her, boys.
Starks, Flynn, thank you very much. I have Karzeka, I have semi-finalists. They're the European Team Empire. Karzeka, congratulations. First map, another big overtime here in Milan, and you were telling me just this moment, just before we came on camera now, you were actually thinking that was probably going to go to 3.
Yeah, we actually were ready for 3 maps because we know that Bank was their strongest map, and we are like kind of decent on Bank, so we mentally were prepared for 3 maps, and it was okay for us if we will lose first map, so we were ready to win the other 2 maps.
And we know Team Empire, you've said before, as a team in the past, you don't really counter-strat opponents. You want to turn up and play your game, but it did seem like you'd done some prep work for DarkZero, particularly with that Blitz ban. That seemed targeted.
Yeah, I mean, we actually haven't watched a lot of VODs. We just saw that from the Pro League play days that all the NA teams banning Blitz and Montaigne on Bank versus them, and we just like, okay, we don't like to play versus Shield, so we're just gonna ban Blitz and Montaigne and just, that's all.
You make this sound very casual, Karzeka. Talk to me about Dan. He joined, I think, a month ago today, 30 days ago. Today, he seems to have fitted in like he's been with you all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's performance was like absolutely crazy. It's his first LAN event. It's his first like serious game, and he just unleashed all his power and showed that he's like decent. That we picked him up.
And one more question for you. Last time we saw you, of course, 6 Invitational, World Championships, monster game against G2. How did you feel coming to this final, thinking, oh, we were so close to grabbing one last time?
I mean, we will be happy if we win this tournament, but to be the best, you need to beat the best, but the best team is not here, so that's kind of 50-50.
Well, we'll take it one step at a time and see who is the best team here. Team Empire go to the semi-finals.